Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth, if I may mix my metaphor? But I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of neocolonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, neocolonialism, on a continent-wide front. This requires some plain speaking. And for the sake of Africa, let us speak plainly. As I see it, our greatest danger stems from disunity and the inability to see that the realization of our hopes and aspirations, the realization of our objective of total African independence, and of our future progress and prosperity is inextricably bound up with the necessity to unify our policy and actions in connection with the continued struggle for independence and the greater task of economic and social reconstruction beyond it. We must therefore face the issue of African unity now, for only unity will make the artificial boundaries and regional demarcations imposed by colonialism obsolete and superfluous. African unity will thus provide an effective remedy for border disputes and internecine troubles. In a united Africa, there could be no frontier claims between Ethiopia and Somalia, or between Zanzibar and Kenya, Guinea or Liberia, or between Ghana, Togoland, and the Ivory Coast. Because we would regard ourselves as one great continental family of nations. Some of the leaders, it must be confessed, do not see the struggle of their brother Africans as part of their own struggle. Even if they did, they would not be free to express their solidarity. These rifts are consciously created by the imperialists between Africans, where they can sit back and watch with sly satisfaction, as well as contempt for those who fail to see how they are being used against Africa's best interests. Regrettably, those states include some who were among the freedom fighters of yesterday and who haven't won their independence, are willing to drop it for some token aid and thereby deny to those still struggling for freedom even their moral support. Here is a phenomenon against which all African freedom fighters must be on their guard and resist to the utmost. Even though I appreciate the difficulties facing us, I must admit, I find it strange to watch some of us returning willingly to the colonialist fold. This time, they don't even have the excuse of being forced to subject themselves to foreign domination. It makes one wonder, why so much effort and sacrifice and so many lives were given up to the achievement of independence in the first place, if it can only be so quickly and easily surrendered. We must begin to build immediately our own continental common market. For it is easy for anyone who studies the common market organization closely to realize that the common market is aimed at harnessing the African countries to satisfy the profit lust of the imperialist bloc and to prevent us from following an independent neutralist policy. It is easy to see that the imperialists and the colonialists are determined to retain the African countries in the position of suppliers of cheap raw materials. If we do not resist this threat, and if we throw in our lot with the common market, we shall doom the economy of Africa to a state of perpetual subjection to the economy of Western Europe. This will, of course, hinder the industrialization of our young African states. It is impossible to think of economic development and national independence without possessing an unfettered capacity for maintaining a strong industrial power. The activities of the common market are therefore fraught with dangerous political and economic consequences for the independent African states. The organization constitutes an attempt to replace the old system of colonial exploitation by a new system of collective colonialism, which will be stronger and more dangerous than the old evils we are striving to liquidate from our continent. This is another reason why we should come together in a unified African economic plan, which, operating on a continental scale, can make a solid attack on the imperialist domination in Africa. We should, without delay, aim at the creation of a joint African military command. There is little wisdom in our present separate effort to build up and maintain defense forces, which, in any case, would be ineffective in a major world conflict. If we examine this problem realistically, we would ask, which single African state could protect itself against an imperialist aggressor? And how much more difficult this would be when some states are allowing the imperialists to maintain bases on their territories. I have already referred to the military forces which South Africa is raising and the danger it poses for the new African states and the struggle of those still in chains. Only our unity can provide us with anything like adequate protection. Those problems can best be met within a unified Africa, and it should be possible in the higher reaches of our endeavor to devise a constitutional structure which will secure the objectives I have outlined, and yet preserve the sovereignty of each of the countries joining the Union. Countries within the Union will naturally maintain their own constitutions, continue to use their own national emblems and national anthems and other symbols and paraphernalia of sovereignty. regional associations and territorial groupings can only be other forms of balkanization unless they are conceived within the framework of a continental union. There are existing models which we can modify or adapt to our pattern. The United States of America, the Soviet Union, India and China have proved the efficacy of unions embracing large stretches of land and population. Long live African freedom fighters. Long live African independence. Long live your struggle. And long live African unity.
And share this video with friends and family to support the channel.
This is bauxite, which lies in millions of tons beneath the green forested hills of the Gold Coast. From this red earth, man can extract the shining wonder metal of today, aluminium. And that is the aim of the Gold Coast, to cap the march to independence with a dramatic leap into the age of technology.
The British authorities saw the power from the dam simply as a means to boost the empire's supply of aluminium. But for Nkrumah it was much more. He saw it as the key to fulfilling his country's destiny. It had always been assumed by the Ghanaians that, as with the British scheme, the smelter would use the vast reserves of their own bauxite and so create an important new industry.
Geological plan to develop an integrated aluminium industry will not only see growth in bauxite mining, but also in the value addition activities of refining bauxite and smelting alumina to produce aluminium at an industrial scale.
The long history of hygiene of Ghana, led by our first president, and the reason why we killed the Akosombo Dam in the first place was basically to make sure we have a truly integrated aluminium industry. That was really what we were, unlock the potential of a country and create jobs. And so your mandate, and that's the reason why GUIDEC has been brought to be, is that dream that has not been fulfilled, that we are established to come and make sure we really integrate that.
By the grace of God and thanks to the vision of the first president of Ghana, we have a smelter, which is VACO. So GUIDEC's mandate under law is to develop the integrated aluminium industry. GUIDEC is supposed to oversee the development of an integrated aluminium industry. And this includes mining, refining, and smelting of alumina into aluminium fully functional.
This will bring about a major transformation to Ghana's economy.
Dr. Nkrumah, have you come to this conference to listen and watch, or
do you think you can represent all of Africa?
Me represent Africa is too big for me. I'm only trying to throw out ideas. And so it's only the ideas and principles which I believe in, which I think will be the ultimate. As I see it, help the continent is what I'm trying to put forward. And if the ideas and principles which I put forward is taken by the great majority of the people, then I think I've done my duty.
Dr. Nkrumah, have you come to this conference to listen and watch, or to raise points of your own?
I think I've come to listen.
Are there any points arising out of Ghana's first few months of independence which you will bring up? Any problems?
Yes, there are one or two problems, but there are points which I don't know whether they have to be raised at the conference or outside it.
Do you think that Ghana should serve as a model for other Commonwealth countries which desire independence?
Yes, particularly we should set the example, to the other dependent territories which are at the moment trying to achieve their independence.
I believe your head is to be put on the new currency in Ghana instead of the Queen. What is the reason for that?
Oh, it's not a matter which I'm interested. I think it's a matter which concerns the party.
Now, this has never happened before in the Commonwealth. The party leader has never had his head on the currency. Do you think it's a good thing?
It depends upon the circumstances surrounding the case.
Don't you think you might spend a lot of money printing the currency, and then if you lost an election, the opposition would have to withdraw it from circulation?
Remember that the people always decide these matters. If the people wish it, no other party can go against it, otherwise it will be your own downfall.
Thank you very much.
There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Since we had our independence, the country is moving on with a big improvement.
What do you think of Dr. Nkrumah?
He's doing well to our country, and I like him very much.
What do you think of Dr.
Oh, I like him the same. Dr. Nkrumah, I like him.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't like him.
Why not?
Because he's practically a dictator.
He wants to be a dictator?
Yes.
What do you say to that?
I like him.
You think he wants to be a dictator?
Yes, sir.
You do?
No, sir.
What do you think?
No, sir. I don't like to be a dictator.
But what do you think about Dr. Nkrumah? Do you think he wants to be a dictator?
No, sir.
What do the rest of you think? You like Dr. Nkrumah or not?
Yes,
we all like him. You seem to be a bit of a minority. What do you do for a living?
I am a photographer.
What, with still cameras?
Yes.
Have you ever seen television? This film is for television.
Actually, I have not seen it personally, but it's just in cinema.
You don't do any work, do you?
Yes, I'm at school.
Do you work hard at school?
Yes, pardon?
Do you work hard at school?
Yes, yes, sir.
What do you work hardest at?
English.
English?
Yes.
Well, you speak it very well.
Yes, yes, sir.
Have you heard about this Russian thing which is going around the world?
Yes.
Have you heard about that?
Yes, sir.
This sort of thing going right around the world. What do you think about that?
It's man-made moon.
It's what?
Man-made moon.
Man-made moon. What do you think about it?
I think they just want to know if there's another Earth in the moon.
What do you think about Russians? Do you think Ghana should be more friendly with Russia or stay very friendly with Britain?
Damn friendly with Russia.
Do you? Do you not like the British?
You like them?
You like British?
Yes.
Do you want them to be in the Ghana to stay in the family of British nations?
Yes, sir.
A new country.
Among the delegates, Tom Mboya, the 28-year-old trade union leader from Kenya, son of an illiterate fisherman, graduate of Ruskin College, Oxford, and chairman of the conference. Mr. Kojo Botsio, Ghanaian Minister of External Affairs. Dr. Cartwright, an observer from America. And the German ambassador. In Black Africa, the Germans are not regarded as imperialists. And last of all, the hero of the nation, the man whose birthday is a public holiday and whose face appears on the country's stamps and coins, Kwame Nkrumah, Prime Minister of Ghana. The rash of slogans everywhere had put the delegates in a receptive mood for the fighting speech which Mr. Nkrumah had prepared. There were cries of freedom as he entered the hall.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They play upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mold. If we find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. Fighters for African freedoms, I appeal to you in the sacred name of Mother Africa to leave this conference resolved to rededicate yourselves to the task of forming among the political parties in your respective countries a broad united front based upon one common fundamental aim and object, the speedy liberation of your territories. Don't let us also forget that colonialism and imperialism may come to us yet in a different guise, not necessarily from Europe. We must alert ourselves to be able to recognize this when it rears its head and prepare ourselves to fight against it. This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Already, Dr. Nkrumah has taken the first step towards his ambition. Ghana and the former French colony of Guinea are to form a federation. Next on the list could be Nigeria, due for...
Ghana, we now have freedom.
Africa wants a freedom. Africa must be free.
Oracles indicated that Kwame Nkrumah was a devil.
Mr. President, there is a coup.
I've never seen such an explosion of joy.
Accra, Ghana's capital city and the largest city in the country. The word Accra is believed to originate from the Akan word Nkran, meaning ants. It is no wonder that you will see men and women hustling and bustling under the blazing sun to earn a penny or two. In these very streets walked a great man, a man who led Ghana's liberation struggle. His name, Kwame Nkrumah. It was during his reign that Ghana made great developmental strides, like the building of the Tema Township, the Accra-Tema Motorway, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the Great Akosombo Dam, and of course, his key role in the formation of the Organization of African Union. With Kwame Nkrumah, beyond the borders of Ghana, he is hailed for his achievements.
This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
To him, African Union was a passion, and I think he's right. Look at what is happening in Africa now. Congo, the richest country, what's there now? Warlords all over with this private enterprise from outside. They do what they like. I mean, and look at what is happening in all Africa. He foresaw that if we didn't come together, we would be in our present state.
Dr. K.B. Asante was the Secretary of State during Kwame Nkrumah's rule. He recounts Nkrumah's character.
He could be charming when he wanted to, but normally, as someone who worked with him, he was what I would call a charming, hard taskmaster.
He was a good dancer, and he liked music, yes. And we would hear music. But I remember high life music around us.
His smile was infectious.
Perhaps you didn't hear what I said.
That was the charm of Nkrumah, a man who was very committed to Africa. Nkrumah lived and died Africa.
In September of 1909, in a village in the Gold Coast, as Ghana was called then before independence, a son was born. Francis Newyear Kofi Ngonioma, to his father a goldsmith, and his mother a retail trader. This name later changed to Kwame Nkrumah. Nkrumah was educated at the prestigious Achimota College in 1930 and thereafter became a teacher.
Nkrumah was a very ordinary human being. He was human like all of us. He was born in a very small, tiny village in the western region of Ghana. He had his education, Catholic education, went to a Achimota school, initially wanted to be a Catholic priest, and eventually taught in the Achimota school, which was the most prestigious high school under the colonial rule.
At the age of 26, Nkrumah left the Gold Coast to study at Lincoln University in the USA. He read widely from the literature of Karl Marx and Marcus Garvey. And from then on, ideals of socialism became appealing to him.
Nkrumah was very much inspired by Marcus Garvey and the whole idea of return to Africa and black freedom. That inspired him a lot too. So he knew about all those things. That would have fueled his ideas for a kind of Pan-African consciousness and the need to rally a wide range of people in pursuit of what he wanted.
In the United States of America, he came across, writings of George Padmore and co, who were in the Pan-African movement, W.E. Du Bois and all. And eventually in 1945, he linked up with them in Manchester, United Kingdom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world of contradictions. These contradictions, however, keep the world going. Let me explain what I mean. Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free, and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies. Only thus can we create higher living standards for our people and free them from the legacies and hazards of a colonial past and from the encroachments of neocolonialism. Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They play upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mode. If we find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. Fighters for African freedoms, I appeal to you in the sacred name of Mother Africa to lead this conference resolved to rededicate yourselves to the task of forming among the political parties.
There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Well, by the directive principles of state policy, we're still on our way to trying to grasp the knowledge we need in managing our own affairs as a country. Good morning to you. You're welcome to the program. It's the 22nd of September 2025. It's a holiday. Most of you are home enjoying resting. Make sure you take a good rest because you're resuming work tomorrow. Let's all come together and build the nation Ghana. Some of the headlines today we have, because it's a holiday, we don't have newspapers, but we have, of course, UNGA 80th session. President Mahama leaves Accra for New York. We'll be monitoring and, also take analysis on some of the comments he will be making once he takes the opportunity. Also, we have the 80th session. President Mahama has arrived already. Mahama stresses regional unity as ECOWAS engages Sahel states. Police recover 10 stolen vehicles shipped from the Netherlands to Ghana. Amakofi Boa, Nkrumah's vision was for centuries, not elections. Kukrentumi police station shuts down. Officers withdrawn after violent attack. Galamsey state of emergency will be considered when necessary, Lands Ministry. Also, Fix the Country defies government appeal, continues anti-Galamsey vigil. Toxic levels of lead found in fish, vegetables across Ghana's mining areas. Study is also showing. So, GS warns public against fake recruitment letter. And also, NDC voters prefer Baumia, while NPP voters want a Siodin Ketia. Global Info Analytics. I'm sure you may need some more information and analysis to this one. But Guang DCE to petition for removal of electoral commissioner over irregularities. All right, these are some of the headlines that we have captured in our news stories and websites as well. Let's take a quick breather. We'll come back and have a very interesting conversation with another interesting personality here in the studio. And then we'll get to know. It is about customer service. It's about brand Ghana. It's about marketing Ghana and how we can actually do our things to improve the state of this country and how we manage some of our activities that we use in selling the whole country. We'll be back shortly.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a brands manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
Cheche woni nara mi din e de baby da pa me di ade sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mo ama waduane e de pa na me de bremo eno any some spices e emu wa wo bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie ye de ku jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya ye de ku nkwan mu ye de ku froye mu ho na ko pebito na ema waduane enye de unyimi nia ye nkon ye konko tie nyankofo eka
Autant de communication, we all enjoy Uduba, the Samu spices. One in the essence, no time. I'm going to get it. Samu spices in a Samu, Daddy so say. Samu spices, Mun Samu.
Samu spices, Nyama chicken.
Samu spices.
Nsaka in Ketwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof, and the flavors of Bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDIJ Jadin Kratoyatum.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey him later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Go be the luckiest, go be from Georgia be luckiest, from not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest, everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God out for boy. Oye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
All right. On your screen was the website, Metro TV Online. Log on to, the website and grab some more stories making the rounds that the news team has captured. All right. So this morning we're having an interesting conversation with a personality that is also quite an interesting person. You know, he is in the person of Professor Robert Abel Henson, and he is a marketing and sales service practitioner. He's also a scholar for that matter. But Prof has joined us already in the studio. He's been here for quite a while. Prof, thank you so much. What a day to have you. So
yes,
a very welcome to you and a welcome to the program. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
Happy holiday. Do you actually rest during holidays? Do you even have holidays at all you enjoy during the holidays?
From here, I'll go back home. So I think I'm doing well today.
That's because I picked up the information that you have family, issues to attend to. If not, I'm sure you won't be home.
But I'm trying to kind of dial back. So
I'm trying to
recalibrate. Yes.
You have to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You have to.
Understand after I leave the studio, Gabi is coming, the famous Gabi.
The famous Gabi.
Yes, yes.
The famous Gabis are two. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one whose sister is the famous Gizi.
And whose sister is the famous Hannah?
Correct. But Gizi was my student, Hannah wasn't. That's why Gizi is my point of reference.
The first name you would mention.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
How was she in class?
Hey, Gizi, she was totally enterprising. She had all these questions and she was very inquisitive. Architect turned marketer. It was very powerful. It was an absolute honor to have her.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she's also doing you proud.
Oh, she's an excellent deputy minister. So if she's listening, please. It's a long time. So hi to you and Salom. God bless you both. Yes, please.
God bless you too.
Yes, please.
Right. Okay, so we were talking brand Ghana, right? We're talking about quite a number of things that has to do with what we do in this country to sell the nation. There's an article I would like to read just a little bit for you. Fixing the experience first, making customer experience the cornerstone of Black Star experience. Now, it reads, I'm reading just parts of it. Since the closure of the Brand Ghana office, a bold initiative launched under the previous NDC administration, Ghana has lacked a coherent and institutionalized nation brand strategy. In its absence, Ghana's global image has relied heavily on sporadic events and goodwill moments, such as Remarkable Year of Return in 2019. Now, while this initiative attracted global attention and generated substantial economic value, it was a moment, not a model, and certainly not a nation brand strategy. Today, under the new administration, led by President John Dramani Mahama, Ghana has launched the Black Star Experience, an ambitious attempt to reposition the nation as a globally preferred destination for culture, arts, and heritage tourism. This initiative is both timely and necessary. But if it is to be transformational rather than transient, it must be underpinned by a robust, actionable, and strategic nation brand framework. And no nation brand strategy can succeed without fixing the lived customer experience that supports it. It goes on and on with service deficits undermining brand Ghana. Now let me read that one. I think that's even more important. Despite its cultural richness and diasporan appeal, Ghana suffers from a chronic service deficit, inconsistent hospitality, poor frontline engagement, inefficient transport service, and sober experience at heritage and culture sites plague even the most well-intentioned visitor journeys. Multiple stories, including those in customer service delivery in Africa. Consumer perception of quality in selected African countries. Hinson et al. 2024 consistently reveal that customers across Africa economies are more concerned with consistency, empathy, and responsiveness than mere infrastructure or aesthetics. So without an intentional service transformation, the Black Star experience risks becoming another missed opportunity. We will pick a video when His Excellency also responded to something about tourism. And there was a bit of customer experience comments there, which was not pleasant at all. Let's have that video.
I wanted to hear something from the creative arts industry when you made your presentation, but I didn't hear anything. The question is that you have shown how you want to bridge the unemployment gap, but I want to find out that how do you intend, or can you tell us what plans you have in using the creative arts sector to solve the high unemployment? And also, please, I would like to hear what is happening with the Black Star experience. Thank you.
The creative arts. The creative arts is one of the important sectors. What we notice is that the creative industry creates jobs faster than the traditional sectors that we have known. By the time sector or manufacturing creates one job, the creative sector, digitalization, knowledge industry, arts and things would have created about 5 jobs. And so that's an area in which we have to continue to invest. And that is why we created them as a ministry together with tourism. The Black Star experience will take off. They've been working on all the foundational issues, and you'll soon see a sign of it. In the next budget, we're going to make some allocation for the creative arts, for the film fund, and to support Kumawood and all the filmmakers, to support the music industry, to support the arts and all that. We need to put our money where our mouths are. And I think that the creative arts are a good representation of our culture and who we are as a people.
I wanted to hear something from the creative arts industry when you made your presentation, but I didn't hear anything. The question is that you have shown how you want to bridge the...
And then from the Central Region, Rich FM, he asked what we're doing to enhance the tourist attraction of the Central Region. It's all about infrastructure. It's also about service. With infrastructure, even the travel time to Central Region is a major problem. In Ghana, we've maintained single lane, highways for a very long time. They are prone to accidents. A lot of accidents occur. Now every day you hear there's an accident on the Kumasi Road, there's an accident on the Cape Coast Road. And that is because when 2 vehicles oncoming and going are using a single lane, the tendency for head-on collisions are very real because of wrongful overtaking and all that. So one of our first things that would enhance tourism in the Central Region is that we're dualizing the road all the way to Takrady. It will reduce travel time to Cape Coast. It will allow somebody to wake up in the morning, travel to Cape Coast, enjoy his tourist experience, and be back in the evening to Accra to sleep. And so reducing the travel time will help enhance that. But apart from that, we must identify what the tourist sites are, improve their attractiveness, and also improve the service delivery. One of the things that affects tourism in Ghana and West Africa is that our service is poor. You go to a restaurant and they think that they are doing you a favor. You go to eat and they think that you owe them, to serve you. If you go to other parts of the world, it's completely different. You are compelled to spend your money because they are all over you. Even before you finish the drink that they have given you, you are halfway. Can I bring you another drink? And if you are the shy type and things, you always say, oh, yes, yes. And you forget that you have to pay for it. And so we must improve our service delivery. Owners of services must take professionals who know how to be courteous to customers, to know that we are in this job because you've come here to eat or you've come here to do this. And so that's one of the drawbacks of our whole tourism experience. And most times you spend so much money, set up an establishment, instead of going for professionals, you go and haul your relatives from the village to come and serve people. They pay and they can't even get their change. You can't find the waiter who took your money. And when you even find them, he says, oh, we have no change. I mean, they have a certain sense of entitlement. And so until we reform all these, and it's an attitudinal problem, until we reform all these, and people who own these establishments make sure that service delivery is at near 100%, we would not be able to attract enough tourists into our country. We have a beautiful country. People come and, they just say, look, this country is good. But if you hear a lot of the feedback and you say, oh, but what is negative about it? Oh, your service is not the best. Always, that's the feedback that comes. But government will do its part. Government has the responsibility for making sure the infrastructure is good. And we're starting with the road, making sure that we dualize the road all the way to Cape Coast.
Professor Henson is raising his hands as if he's praising God in the studio. Welcome back. All right. So I think we had two parts of it, infrastructure development, make the country attractive enough, and of course, service delivery, as you heard it. I'm reading ADR in school, and my lecturer, Mr. Gami Ngami, there's a Gami Ngami Institute, so Osengami is my lecturer actually.
Absolutely.
And there's one thing they taught us in school.
Yes, please.
And that is the fact that the one who pays you, when they ask you the first question, who pays you at work,
yes,
you're likely to say maybe your boss or your manager or your HR or something like that.
Absolutely.
But the truth is that the one who pays you is a customer.
100%.
That's it.
It is an irrevocable fact.
You can't get that.
It will never change. As long as earth and time remains, a customer pays you. And so here's the funny thing. I've been in this game for 29 years. Issues around service training, service advisory, service strategy, all the service things. And my first book on service was 19 years ago, this one, in 2006. I've written and edited so many other books after that time. Before I get into the African conundrum, which is the Ghanaian conundrum, I need to say one thing from the beginning. Every service entity.
Can I answer the first book?
First book, 2006. My wife's name is inside.
Marketing of Services, Managerial Perspective.
I couldn't find my copy at home, so I brought the one that her name is inside. So
Duchess Henson.
Yes.
Oh,
please.
She's a Duchess?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes,
interesting.
Duchess of Henson.
Okay.
So, as it turns out, I started doing training in level 300 with a lecturer, boss of mine called Dr. Kwadi. So I started at the Ghana Commercial Bank Training School in 1996, 29 years ago. 29 years later, they just appointed this same Ghana Commercial Bank, a lady called Cynthia, as the chief marketing officer just a few weeks ago. And they've combined marketing, communications, and customer experience, and they are calling it Malcolm X. So it's a new role they've created for senior management because GCB in 30 years has come to the realization that we'll die or live by superior customer experiences. So let me go to President Mahama's, we must improve our service delivery. 20 years ago, there was an article on Ghana Web entitled Public Sector Charters to be Implemented Within 60 Days. And there was a famous man called Dr. Parkwesi Ndom. He was Minister of State in charge of public sector reform. This is April 27, 2005. He said we had gotten some 8 million pounds, emphasis on 8 million pounds, and that the 8 million pounds, amongst other things, was used to develop something called service charters, and that the service charters are going to be implemented and Ghana will become a service haven. He said the service charters are supposed to introduce service delivery improvement initiatives and went on and on and on 20 years ago. Madam, so the point I make is that this journey, in fact, let me go to President Nkrumah because we're in Nkrumah mode. President Nkrumah, when he gave the speech on Independence Day, said, we must change our attitudes, our minds. We must realize that from now on, we are no longer a colonial entity, but a free and independent people, but that also entails hard work. So President Nkrumah on Independence Day said we need attitudinal change. President Mahama in September 2025 said we need attitudinal change. Let me tell you why.
Dr. Parker Sindum 20 years ago said we will improve on.
Congratulations, madam. I'm happy that you are following me. You will do well in my class. Okay, so let's come to 2026. Then, the title of this article on Ghana Web said, Ghanaians asked to challenge shabby treatment. So this was way back in 2026. He was saying that we treat people with disdain or disrespect, so we need to repent. This was after 23 client service units had been established within the MDAs and still was struggling with dissatisfied services. Then in 2008, Mrs. Mary Chinri Hesse, chief advisor to the president, launched some agenda to also improve service under President Ajikumi. She said, let's take lateness to work and absenteeism, for example. These are two major culprits that contribute to the poor service delivery we have in public sector agencies. President Mahama, as vice president, 2009, the title of the article is, Ghanaians can no longer accept reasons for poor service. And he was speaking to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. He said, our utility services are in a crisis situation. He said, we must strive to meet customer expectations and achieve government objectives. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 1st May 2017, this is what he said. He said, this was interesting. He said, we arrive late at work and spend the first hour in prayer. We are praying in tongues at work. Meanwhile, there's work to be done. He said, we are clock watchers. He said, we live in the middle of critical work when it's not official closing time. He said, everything comes to a stop when it rains, and we seem to expect the rest of the world to also stop. He said, we have no respect for the hours set aside for work. We pray, we eat, we visit during working hours. We spend hours chatting on the telephone when customers are waiting to be served. He said, the service that we provide in our hospitality industry does not match that of our competitors, and many of us have sadly come to accept poor service as the norm. He said in 2017 that many of us have sadly come to accept poor service as a norm. Then he said, there's a particularly pernicious attitude to property we find at work. We steal small milk, we steal small tea, we steal some paper, we steal some envelopes, we steal some equipment. He said, there's a reckless use of official vehicles, and there's no inclination to protect the things that are in our offices and our factories. Then in September 2025, Ghana Web, this must change. President Mahama laments over poor service as tourist sites, and then they recount what just happened in the video. I was chatting with some big people in Ghana 5 days ago, and I gave them this historical trajectory. They said, Bob, this one is culture, it's culture. And I said, if we don't change our culture, nothing will change. In 2008, a very big man in this country gave me a job to train a certain bank on High Street. I did about 800 people, 42 sessions on my feet. The guy said, you can have Ghanaian culture on the High Street. When you enter that bank, you work with the culture of that bank. Service excellence matters, attitudes matter, service KPIs matter. If you're a service deviant, we'll train you, we'll warn you, they will punish you. So there was service discipline in the institution. I'm not convinced that there's a culture issue. Listen, culture applies to the extent that you are allowed to override what is normal and sensible. You saw the film industry dialogue a few days ago and all those beautiful social media photos with the people in white. They look like angels. And I was thinking, oh, wow, what if our service was as white as that? Angelic, excellent. And I was thinking, who in the film industry is doing a film value chain analysis all the way from where the things are conceived and produced, all the way to where it's delivered at the silver bed, all the way to where you and I go and consume it? Please, I want to make a simple suggestion. Ghana is a country on the rise. We are doing a reset. Excellent. Black Star, excellent. But the first thing we need to do is to accept that the president is not lying. He has been consistent in his service lamentations. As vice president, he was lamenting services from utility agencies. In 2025, lamenting services from restaurants and hotels. So, madam, the question is, what do we need to do? I can get into service issues more substantially if you want me to a little later. Madam, please, you know, in Nigeria, they have a Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Some time ago, under another government, they also had something about tourism and national orientation. We've tried this national orientation thing once or twice or thrice. It doesn't seem to have worked. Please, here's my little suggestion. We need to find a central coordinating body that we can put service excellence and a new customer orientation under. It can be the National Commission on Civic Education. It can be the Ministry of Tourism. It can be an office in the presidency. After all, there's a Black Star Experience Manager in the office of the president. But, madam, we need to centralize the matter. Then number two, we need to understand that service gets changed only when we are humble about where the challenges lie. So, madam, if we are up to it, we need to do comprehensive service audits, industry by industry. So if tourism and hospitality matters to us, we can do audits there. If it matters in banking, we can do audits there. Because you see, if you don't generate preliminary insights about what constitutes value to the person coming from Burkina Faso to come and eat acheke or eat tatali and abobo in Ghana, or understand what the Singaporean guy is looking for in an ecotourism spot somewhere in the Volta region, then you understand what they want. So service audits is number one. Number two, when the service audits are done, and there's a central body that's coordinating service excellence matters, we'll move into service strategy development, because the president said the foundations of the Black Star experience have been set. I'm wondering if the foundations include a coherent service excellence strategy, or if it's again site here, waterfall here. Look, every good brand is a functional selling proposition and an emotional selling proposition. The hotels, the waterfalls, the water, that's part of the functional selling proposition. The emotional selling proposition is the service component, the emotions you feel after you consume that. The service. That's the thing. And that's why in Africa, we have the most problems. So if the president says the fundamentals are almost done, my recommendation to him will be, let them show you where the service excellence dashboards also exist. Because when he did the big push launch a few days ago, he said, I've set up a secretariat in my office. He said, I'm going to have a big dashboard, and I'm going to get data fed into that dashboard consistently. So I'll know what's happening on the ground at every point. And use that to tell the contractors that don't misbehave. Once we entrust the funds to you, we need utopian performance. But he said, I have a dashboard I'll be measuring on. Can you imagine a world where our president also has a service excellence dashboard? So he can see what's happening in hotels. He can see what's happening in travel and tour agencies. He can see what's happening here, what's happening there. He can see what's happening here. Suddenly, maybe the accountability stakes will become higher. Because what gets measured gets done. Now, once we start moving in that strategic direction, we do what we call service baselines. So Ghana can commission the first ever hospitality and tourism service baseline, so that you have all the base indicators. Let me tell you why that matters. I served on the Busak Fund about 15 years ago. We spent millions of dollars with Busak. In 2013, madam, we gave plenty money to the Ghana Hotels Association. This is a 2013 report where They did stakeholder engagement, went to South Africa, went everywhere. And the thinking was that they were going to develop a hotel grading system for Ghana. So that at 1 star, there's a basic modicum of service you require. At 2 star, you should have, at 3 star, you should have this. And the whole thinking was that in this report, I can share the report with you later, they catalog the same issues the president is also talking about now. The poor service, the low standards, and so on and so forth. When they were done, there was going to be clarity on a hotel classification system for Ghana. Unfortunately, 12 years on, I don't know whether that miracle occurred. If it did, then there's already a baseline requirement for every hospitality institution within the hotel setup. So that becomes where we start from. Once you do the baselines, madam, I've heard the Minister for Tourism say we're going to do a lot of service training. That's a total blessing. I've seen her going to commission even private sector entities who are coming up with tourism schools. But you see, service excellence doesn't change with training alone. It changes with service audits, map the customer journey, do baseline research to establish the standards, and then when you administer the interventions, you start tracking over time. So the president can come to his next encounter and say, guess what? I have the results for the recent tracker study for the Ghana Service Excellence Index. For hospitality, this is how we are doing. For financial services, wow, something will change because BOG can superintend the financial services side. Ministry of Tourism. So the president doesn't have to do the research all sitting up there by himself. We can do it and start getting the data. Then within the institutions themselves, in Ghana, I've never seen anybody sacked because of poor customer service before. We'll pray with you, we'll beg you, we'll tell you, please don't do it again. We'll tell you, oh, please do, the company will spoil. So I find a certain inability to punish service deviance. But the Bible says in 1 Timothy 5:20, the second part, it says, them that sin repeatedly punish openly, that the rest may stand in fear. So there's a point at which service deviance must be punished and removed. It's not happening. So here's my proposal. Macro framework, set up a coordinating body or authority to monitor service experience in Ghana, give it a sectoral look and feel, and then the office of the head of civil service, they have a major job to also work with improving service delivery in the public service sector, because from Public Service Commission to civil service, they too, they must sit up seriously. In 2003, I went to Singapore for a Commonwealth Secretariat conference, and I learned over there that over there, service excellence is started from the public sector, not the other way around. I remember the famous Ishmael Yamson being interviewed by Komla Dumo one day, and then he said he went to Singapore once, and then in the taxi in which he sat, the driver could tell him about his Singaporean journey, and he was making the point that in Singapore, almost everyone is imbued with a certain sense of patriotism and wanting to serve you well. And it cuts across.
So I'll add mine.
Go ahead.
So when you pick taxis and you even want to give them tips, they refuse it. Taxi drivers, they refuse the tip. You go into shop, you want to give them tips, they refuse it. And they will tell you, no, we don't accept tips.
The service discipline.
They will even tell you there are cameras watching.
That is it.
And they will pick the information. So if you pick a taxi and maybe by some challenge or circumstances, they are not able to get a change, and you say, oh, you can keep the change. That they can, compromise.
Yeah.
But even that is a little difficult. It would take them, quite a while to go through their mind. You'll be there with them for seconds. They are not able to accept whether or not they should take the money.
Because it's their job. They take ownership for it. They feel proud to do it. But like President Mahama said over here, it's like they feel they are doing you a favor. I'm quoting the president.
They feel entitled.
My sister, about 10, 15 years ago, I was in the UK with a former student of mine. We were shopping. And this person said, do me show. So we went to a shop. They did me show. They were buying shirts. And there was a Jamaican lady who was excessively courteous. So I took some 5%. I said, hey, no, prof, no. I said, no. It's her job. I said, wow. Because I'm so used to being given poor service, anybody who treats me a little correct, I'm like, oh, please, collect 10 Ghana. It's like, we are so used to not being treated well. When somebody treats us, we'll go, what's going on here? So, madam, that's what will happen at a broad macro level. But let me do advocacy for entrepreneurs and private sector too, because Not everybody needs President Mahama to come and make their company service-oriented. If you are in business and your front desk people are rude, the business will die. President Mahama cannot help you in that regard. So whilst I'm doing advocacy for president and national orientation, the companies in Ghana today must repent. Madam, I wrote this book a couple of years ago, and this book, we have what we call the 4-step customer service evolution. I'm going to explain that to tell you where we are and where we should be. Now, for every entity listening to me now, every banker, every small firm, every hotel, every hospitality institution, there are 4 levels at which you can deliver service. The first level is customer service as cost. That's level 1. Level 2 is customer service as a necessity. Level 3 is customer service as competitive advantage. Level 4 is customer service as an essential living expression of the organization's brand. So let's take the finance minister, for instance. He says he's listening to Professor Henson, and all the institutions under him are going to have branded customer service. Here's the kind of audit he must do through the heads of those institutions. And when you take customer service as cost, I'm going to tell you the kind of service you see. I'm going to tell you the kind of behavior you see, because President Mahama said they think they are doing you a favor. I'm going to tell you the kind of outcomes you get at that level. And finally, I'll tell you the kind of results you get. Customer service as cost. Here, customer service is seen as unnecessary and what we call an extraneous activity. And then it's seen as a short-term transaction. There are no long-term benefits. So like you say, if you tip me, I'll sort you out. If you don't tip me, I'll squeeze my face. I'll bring you the water after 30 minutes. What can you do? But if I say, hey, you there, Charlie, today get some 50 for the boys. You run and then you be sprinting across the restaurant because you got some 50. Short-term, no long-term focus. Here's what happens. In those places, there's no clear policy. We are all believing God like we are in a jungle. We are just going and coming. There are no metrics. There are no benchmarks. There are no KPIs. There's no sense of determining whether the service is working or not. Then the approach is take care of the organization first. The customers can go to hell. And that's how you operate. So customers are not your priority when you are at level 1, which is customer service as cost. Then
I want to believe that our nurses are at level 1.
Maybe they are half. One is like you started.
I guess so. One cries too much.
Now, as for nurses, they can make your blood pressure spike when you are okay. If you walk around and come back, when they check it, you'll be okay.
I'm sure most of the nurses watching might not like what I'm saying, but that's true.
Oh, but some too are good. But some too are problematic.
You see, unfortunately, the good is in a minority.
Indeed.
So it unfortunately affects them. And that's the bad thing with it. But unfortunately, that's what it is. It affects everybody. Whether you're good or not, you are just one in a million, sort of.
You know what's interesting about nurses? I was going to come there. I edited another book on health service marketing in Africa. And on Friday, I'm going to the University of Ghana Medical School alumni to speak on building customer-centric healthcare institutions. So I'm very happy you went for nurses. Okay. It's not just nurses. Doctors are inside. Healthcare administrators are inside. Didn't the health minister go and blow his top at Rachel still recently? Very angry. What is this? What is that?
That's a picture on my mind.
My sister.
I mean, we've watched, and I just hope that case doesn't die out. We watched the nurses, senior officers, come on TV, radio, and literally lie. And it was so scary that if you see a nurse telling a story that obviously is cooked, I don't know what you think of me, who is listening to you.
Absolutely.
Right? So I see you, telling a story that's obviously cooked.
Yes.
How can I entrust my health in your care? I don't have 2 lives, I have only 1.
Absolutely.
You can just do anything.
Absolutely.
And that's it for me.
Absolutely.
I can't do anything, whether the country compensates me, I can't bring back the life.
Absolutely.
I just can't do anything about it.
Absolutely.
That's the danger we are dealing with.
I agree.
And we've had nurses who have literally lied about this rich situation. If I bring my relative to you and you are like a bicycle, just nonchalant, you expect me to stand there and be a lady?
Let me tell you this story somewhere in Africa where a lady had done 36 weeks and went to hospital and told the doctor, I think the baby is coming. I think the baby is coming. Doctor says, oh, I'm kind of busy. Theater is blocked, blah, blah, blah. Lady goes home and Next day, she gives birth to a stillborn child, totally dead. And the doctor is flippant about, oh, these things, they happen, these things, they happen. I kid you not. This is a story I'm personally acquainted with. This kind of medical negligence is only in places like Africa that this will fly. Oh. And you see, this negligence is not even a question of technical incompetence. It's the whole attitude around how you deal with the patient, not as a customer or a client, but just another commodity being processed through a certain processing factory.
So is it a matter of losing their humanity, or what exactly is happening to our health service
I think they don't understand that service is the most important deliverable in any healthcare institution. You are a service entity first. Yes. You deliver health second. But that thing is lost. The University of Ghana Medical Center contracted us about 2-3 years ago because I went there and preached this gospel. So we did the whole study, got data, and developed a 3-year customer service strategy for them, replete with the customer service charter and everything. And the thinking was that if you spend hundreds of millions into putting up that edifice at the University of Ghana, then what's the point of having horrendous service which is at cross purposes with the fantastic facility? It just doesn't make sense. But in Africa, it's because we focus on the functional, the beds, the bed sheets, the theaters. No. Listen, I believe in healthcare. I'm not a doctor, but I believe that even the way a patient is treated can aid in their getting better. By the same token, if you rough them up, they can also deteriorate. I'm not a doctor, but just intuitively, I believe
there's a story of a doctor in the central region. I don't know if that story is just a lie or a fiction, but I think we're told that this doctor was injecting people with water. He will treat you so well and inject you with water, and they will get well. And then he will later on tell you, I just, injected you with water.
But it's the way he did it, sort of gave the impression. Look, even when you are sick, you pray, and you pray that God will heal you. So there's an emotional part of every service encounter.
Exactly.
So that's customer service at cost. Here, you focus on price, you don't engage well, the salaries of staff are not based on any service performance, you just pay and you go, and the organization operates as a commodity. That's level one. Trust me, quite a number of institutions in Africa are level one. Level two is customer service as necessity. Here, the bank MD is going home, then he sees a big billboard around Chado. So, hey, what's going on here? So he calls the customer service manager. Hey, madam, have you seen the billboard of these people? Hey, what are we doing? Please. I heard they are doing some golf tournament here. Can we sponsor and also do something? So over there, because competitors are offering something, you feel like you must also go and do some. So it is seen as cost rather than an investment. So it's like they are doing, so I'll do. They are operating, so I'll operate. So when you move to level two here, you are quite nice to customers because you hear the other bank too, they are doing something. Then there's some sort of empowerment to staff, but not full empowerment because you are not fully in. Then there's generic customer service training. Now, I use generic customer service training in a certain way. People sometimes train on smile, don't smile. Jump, don't jump. When they come, so they sort of train you from a policy. And this is something we did for the University of Ghana 8 years ago. We built a University of Ghana customer service policy. First time in the history of the university. But more than policy or service level agreements or standard operating procedures, there are nuanced issues when it comes to service. For instance, telephone etiquette. I have a 112 slide deck entitled The Telephone for Business Advantage. There's a science behind managing phones, how you smile into the phone, how you do rebuttals, how you say no. So telephone communications training is very different from, let's train Metro and customer service. No. So if you are level two, there's generic customer service training, there's short-term focus. Clients are satisfied, they are not loyal, the engagement is not so high. The organization operates again as a commodity. So in level 1 and level 2, you are still at commodity. In level 3, the blessing starts. This is where you have customer service as competitive advantage. So if Metro TV wants to outcompete those who are fighting with you, apart from programming and the quality of the interactions on the programs and so on and so forth, you need to at least push for level 3. In level 3, service is seen as a strategic measure to develop business. So it's not only about sales, it's not about products, but it's about having service systems that work. Here, madam, we are pushing to exceed customer expectations. So we are cooking. The blessing is coming. Here, staff are empowered to take care of customers. Here, you want to knock the socks off the customers. You want to create raving fans. You want to develop customers for a lifetime. Here, from MD to cleaner, we are all service champions. Over here as well, we have a longer term focus. So we work with a relationship mindset, not a transactional mindset. So here you are cooking. Staff will stay. There's repeat business. Engagement is going up. But let me get you to level 4. Level 4 is where President Mahama would like to see all these hospitality and tourism entities get to. In level 4, customer experience, customer service, service excellence is seen as the essential living expression of the organization's brand. Let me explain. When you take...
Before you explain, let me set an example that probably will capture that.
Go ahead.
Flight attendant.
Correct. Correct. Madam, the excellent ones, they make you happy you enter the aircraft again. Totally straight up. Prof, good to see you again. How you keep? Hey, you good? Hey, how's your husband doing? They carry the spirits of the airline in magnificent ways. And the jokers too, hey, they make you want to jump off the plane, there's parachute available. Totally rude. They molest you, they traumatize you. Excellent example. And you notice that for the world-class airlines, especially if you fly business class, they treat you like you shouldn't leave the airline. Like you almost wonder, have we arrived? We've arrived, get off the plane. Because the service is so excellent. Excellent point. On that note, here, what you do becomes an essential living expression. So when you take Labadi Beach Hotel, then David, cool guy, he was my student a couple of years ago. Then you cut to Fiesta Royal with Yvonne, who was my student a couple of years ago as head of marketing. You can't expect the Fiesta Royal service to be identical to the Labadi Beach one because they have different brand DNAs. The DNAs are different. The history is different, the heritage is different, the positioning is different. So at this level 4, you take the Metro brand, you take the Fiesta brand, you take the Labadi Beach brand, then you operationalize your service delivery routines according to the spirit of your brand DNA. So there, when you are delivering APSA service, it is uniquely APSA. If you are delivering Omni Basic, it's Omni Basic service, very, very distinct in the way it is delivered. Now, let me tell you why that's important before I get into the manifestations. You know, when it comes to service in Africa, the easiest part of any service entity is making of service promises. We serve you better. We treat you like the moon. We'll take you to the stars. A truly different bank. So making service promises is the easiest job for most service entities in Africa. So we call that level 1 or one side of the service marketing triangle. On the opposite side, we empower employees to deliver the services. At the base of the triangle, the empowered employees deliver the service to the customers who the promises were made to. Now here's the problem. Making service promises childishly easy. Empowering, people are trying. They take them for training at banking college. They go to Singapore, Dubai. The problem is the delivery of the service from the employees to the external customer. So this is why it matters. At level 4, customer service is seen as a brand in action because at every touch point, digital or brick and mortar, the service quality is the same. Every touch point reflects the brand. Brand promises are reflected in internal promises, SLAs, standard operating procedures. There's tailored brand education for everyone. You know, in Africa, people like rebranding. I remember Charles Asare under the previous NDC administration, and he was going to do a rebranding of Ghana airports. We're thinking of Terminal 3 and so on and so forth. Then I was recommended by a friend who said, oh, come up.
Like Obake.
The famous Obake. As for Obake, okay, let me not comment because it might take me away a bit.
Please don't go away.
Okay.
Focus.
Okay. And I told him that rebranding in Africa is about logos and colors. But rebranding is first about a service mind shift before the brand shift. Yeah. So you shift the soft and they come and shift the hard. In Africa, we shift the hard and then the soft goes backwards. So people are actually enraged when they come because you say you've rebranded, but your service has retrogressed.
Oh.
In branded, the level 4, which is branded customer service, service delivery is on brand. Tailored brand education for everybody, long-term focus, management leads the service charge. Listen, my most successful consultancy interventions in Africa, when it comes to service change, has happened when the management of the institutions lead the service change. No, they chair the service excellence committees. They come and launch the service excellence strategy with me in a big hotel. They are the ones who say, if you don't listen to Professor Einstein, we'll punish you. They are the ones who give the awards when people give superior service. They are the ones who recommend sanctions or approve sanctions when HR be said. So they lead the service charge. And
okay, but I'm sorry, it will be quite easy for management to lead the service change or the brand change or whatever it is.
Yes.
Maybe because they're comfortable.
Yes.
Ghana is, say about, I think in my last count or my last check, or about the 12th most expensive country in Africa.
Indeed.
Out of 23.
Indeed.
And our income does not meet our expenditure.
Indeed.
Obviously.
Indeed.
Working in companies is very difficult.
Of course.
Because you travel, you eat, you take care of bills, you do everything, but you literally will have a chain of debts after a month.
That's true.
Now, my question really is, managers are enjoying. Sometimes you check the gap and you know that the gap between management and staff is so wide.
That's true.
It's so wide, but
that's true.
Honestly, we really have to appreciate staff properly and fairly.
I agree.
But that's not happening.
Interesting point. So I'll go there
now.
Too. Okay.
My question is the staff welfare have a direct correlation to service delivery?
Excellent point. So last week, I gave a talk at a full gospel meeting on customer-centric leadership. And I made exactly the same point, that service-oriented leaders, their number one job is to ensure that the followers behind them are well-motivated, well taken care of, they are on fire for the brand, they want to go over and above. Otherwise, you failed as a leader. And I made the point that Richard Branson several years ago said, if you want to deliver utopian customer experiences, fix the employee experience first. He said, when the employees are sorted out, they are happy. All this English I've just spoken about, they'll be at level 4 on their own. I mean, they'll be wanting to say, so today I saw this. What do you think about? They'll be agog, they'll be on fire. So what you speak to is very, very profound. And it's something we need to look at as leaders in our various African institutions. Because if you take the public sector, for instance, sometimes the big people and the small people, the gap is like here to Galilee. It's very wide. And so even the president has hinted at rationalization of salaries in the public sector. I heard him say it also at the encounter. That point is very profound, that we need to bring a certain equity in the way we remunerate even those who follow us, to get them incentivized enough to want to go over and above. But that said, the CEO should still be the number one service champion in every progressive service entity. Because the Bible says in Psalm 133 that the oil, it flows from the top of the priest's head through the beard into the garments. If the head is challenged, the oil, it will be bad oil. When it comes down, nothing good can happen. So CEOs, senior management, board members, you must become walking billboards of service excellence, so that more than what you say, people will copy what you do. And that's the kind of discipline we need. So please, these are the 4 levels. Now let me take the word customer to sort of explain what Ghana in general should do, and then after that I'll answer any question you have. So the letters are CUSTOMER, correct? Those of you who see me in training, so you've heard me use this framework several, but I'll use it again today. C, for those listening to us this morning, means that from tomorrow when you go to work, the attitude you require, I don't know whether I should speak for President Mahama or, okay, in support of President Mahama's call for attitudinal change. C should mean challenge yourself to learn new behaviors to deliver customer delight. I'll explain. If you've been in a game for 3 decades, you understand that people's service needs change. Technology changes. AI is around. There's now Internet of Things. There's metaverse. So if, for instance, today you don't even know how to use basic AI tools to accelerate your customer delivery, you're already lost. Your competitors will have an edge over you. If today you don't know that people live on their mobile phones, so your service should be mobile friendly, you've already lost. So the service area is so fluid that if you don't stay on top, oh, they think to overtake you. The things, they are changing rapidly. So C means challenge yourself to learn new behaviors to deliver customer delight. U means understand what customers need and develop the appropriate knowledge repertoire to exceed their needs. In Africa, again, we don't bother to check what people want. Look, when was the last time you participated, since you were born, Annie, in any citizen engagement survey? Even once, never. You've never been asked about utility delivery in water. No. It doesn't even occur to those public sector leaders. It doesn't even cross their mind. Meanwhile, as citizens, if I hear President Mahama right, he wants to deliver excellent services to us. Who is taking the basic data around what we need? It's not happening.
I think for the last time it was done was when we were trying to put together the National Development Plan.
National Development Plan, we try and
policy.
put it up once every 100 years. I'm talking about...
I'm just saying that that's the only time we normally go out to ask citizens what they want.
Yeah. Even if you can't do it half yearly, introduce service questions in your census data now. So that we say every 4 years. That for me is too long. But at a basic level, you need to, you have solid customer feedback. It's important. If you don't understand...
in Singapore, in Dubai.
Go ahead.
They have a Ministry of Happiness. And it's something that they try to use, that they are even integrating it into the national policy to check the well-being of the citizen.
It is what it is. Because if you don't check what I want, madam, you can't deliver. You see, people have these esoteric ideas about what they want to do. Esoteric doesn't mean anything if you don't know what I want. So we need to keep checking. And this goes for both public and private sector agencies. So understand what they need and then develop the capacity to exceed what they want. S means satisfy your customer audiences in ways no competitor can. Let me tell you why this is important. So we say we want tourism dollars, want them to come and dance, Afrochella, Afrocola, Africella. Listen, here's what it is. We are in competition with Nigeria. The day Davido and Wizkid and Co come together and start doing concerts around the Afrochella time, that's how you know that maybe they'll become our bigger brothers. So what does it mean? It means that in selling a nation brand, the quality of the service that visitors get becomes the enduring sentiment they take away, not where they went to dance. President Mahama said, when I go, all I hear is, you're not doing badly, but your service. Why is it that he hears, but your service? Because that's what they remember. The emotional takeout is the most important part in any service encounter. Okay. So satisfy the people in such a way that they won't do the Gambia. We lived in the Gambia for like 13, 14 years. The Gambia is one of the hottest tourism spots in West Africa. Now, I don't know. This was several years ago. But we're in competition with 53 other African countries for tourism dollars. If the service doesn't improve, if the customer experience doesn't improve, I don't care if we make $7 million. I know if the service was better, I would have made 14. So I'm never impressed with numbers if you can't explain how service contributed to it. T means treat each customer as if you are in an individualized relationship with them. I'll explain. Sometimes we say things like, oh, you know what? Because our customer base improved, so now we can't really serve you well. It's a very African thing. It's like, you know, the company was small, so prof, now we are big, so it's like we can't care for you as much as we used to care for you. But that doesn't make any sense. In service, we have what we call the service pyramid, where you have at the base lead customers, then you have silver, gold, and platinum. The platinum customers at the top are those who answer to the 80-20 principle. They are the 20% who give us 80%. So as for them, they get premium service. But once I'm still a customer, even if I'm led at the base, I still deserve a basic modicum of excellent service. So don't treat me like nothing because your customer base grew. It doesn't work. So everybody needs a certain basic level of individual. And trust me, when people relate to you as Annie, hey, good to see you, you're like, oh, wow, they remember me. Because we are not used to people taking notice of us and treating us as individuals. It matters. I read a book about 20 years ago called 5-Star Customer Service. The author said he went to Singapore to a hotel after 20 years, and without missing a beat, they introduced him by his name. He said he nearly collapsed. Like 20 years after, like, come on, and he good to have you back. Okay, all right. I don't know whether I put on weight or not put on, but he just said it's good to have you back. It means that when they took the data the first time, they took sacrosanct care of it. So 2 decades after the fact, they still said, hey, good to have you back.
When he entered to come in.
2 decades after. And he put it in the book as one way of delivering individualized care. The next one is ownership. Oh, that one is a Ghanaian challenge. Ownership. We hear things like, oh, but the company is not for your father. Who is it? What are you talking like? Is it people talking like about it? You have a job and you are there making noise about it. Not for your father, bro.
Now, I've seen someone dressed to work and I'm like, hey, we'll go for plane now.
Like he's taking the World Cup. Yeah, it is what it is. But ownership totally matters because all over the world, there's no service entity, public or private sector, that doesn't have service challenges. We all do. The only difference between those who react well and those who react poorly is ownership. This whatever is not my father's work. So whose work is it? I work at the University of Ghana Business School. Madam, if you need something in hematology, geography, archival studies, so history, you need something in the laboratory science. Madam, if I can't sort you out now, within 2 focus, I'll take care of you. Because it's my job. I'm an ambassador of the brand, whether I'm in Singapore or in Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghanaian, a lot of Ghanaians don't, hey, please, don't be calling me after 5. You know, it's my personal number. Don't be calling me. I don't want that. So, but there's an emergency. Don't be calling me.
Gabby's laughing.
It's very like, hey, boss, I ask you for money, you don't give me money for unit. Don't be calling me. No, we don't do that. Someday in church, an emergency can occur in your office, and you get a WhatsApp saying, I beg, call me, some matter come. You have to call back. You don't go on Monday say, praise, I was praying. No. So ownership matters, and it's one missing ingredient when it comes to attitudes and
it's the reason people can't grow when they leave companies.
I agree.
Because they don't own people's companies and make it their own. Because, owning it helps you
to grow.
I agree. And they don't even have the knowledge that, when I take care of this water very well, I can produce multiple of it when I'm no more in this company.
Madam, people keep talking about me as marketing professor. I became the way I am because I started advertising. So from 1998 to 2003, my ad agency experience what built my marketing muscles till today.
Yeah.
So, by all means, I went to school, got PhD, but it's the discipline of serving customers well, sending a proposal, addressing briefs, sorting out problems. The power is from my advertising.
It reminds me, I saw something on Facebook yesterday. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
It said, attaining a certificate is you overcoming illiteracy.
There you go.
Not poverty.
There you go. I totally agree. It's personal application, ownership, and a certain diligence that brings a certain expansion. If you are just basic, nothing good will happen for you. And the kind of service President Mahama wants to see, we need a total mind shift where ownership is a central driver of the way we deliver service. M stands for make recommendations that always leaves your customers in a positive net situation. What that means is that if you come and you say, at the airport, you're like, so I beg, the monkeys, where can I see them? The monkeys, where can I see the monkeys? So you are there as a Ghana airport official, maybe civil aviation, maybe immigration, and they ask you about monkeys. And you don't know where there's a monkey extra, you don't know where there are monkeys in Ghana. Say something like, wait, so monkeys, I don't know. But what hotel are you going to? When you get to such a place, ask them there. And that would be a normal response for a normal human being who is the guardian of the nation brand for a visitor coming from outside. It's very look, I remember, you let me not get into airport horror stories, but I'm saying that it's your job to have so much knowledge that when I ask you for something, what you tell me more than meets my expectation, then the blessing will come. The last one is E, and I'll close with R. E is educate customers to understand your company offerings well. So very similar to the analogy I just gave. you work for the immigration service, and you don't know anything about our tourism spots, you don't know anything about our film industry, you don't know anything about our macroeconomic indicators, you don't know what inflation is doing, you don't know that Honorable Okujetua Blakwa has, with the president's endorsement, issued KPIs for all diplomats and ambassadors in Ghana. Okay, you don't know anything, and you're in the system. So please, if you don't work on the education thing, you will be a poor ambassador of the brand, and you compromise this country or the company you work for on a day-to-day basis. R is reset, because we're in reset mode. So R stands for reset all strategic, operational, and tactical imperatives in order to achieve service excellence. So if you've listened to me till now, I've spoken about broad national strategy. I've spoken about operational discipline, KPI, dashboards, and the rest. I've spoken about tactical discipline. You, the human being at the customer interface, you have to be intelligent. You have to know something. So if we are going to reset Ghana's service agenda, we need to be careful that the strategy is on point, the KPIs are clear, the execution is flawless, then our service culture will change.
My HR is watching.
Okay.
Madam Ohinewa, good morning to you and happy holiday. I'm sure you're taking some rest. Don't worry, we'll work for you. And then you come and do the salary proper.
Indeed, indeed.
I think, I don't know, she thinks that I'm putting myself into the wall.
Oh, no. What you say is correct. At all.
But if I am, it's still...
It's correct.
It's all right, you know, because I have to have the experience to be able to talk about it, no? And talk about my team members
100%.
as well. So, yeah. So
he said that you should go and buy this book too when you finish.
Hospitality and tourism marketing. Okay, building customer-driven hospitality and tourism organization.
All right, read it. The problem should go away.
I have to, give a chance to my ladies who are also joining me this morning.
Yes.
This is a special exclusive we arranged with you.
Yes, please.
And what a day to have it. But let me ask, the Black Star experience. Are you part of the team, or you're not interested?
No, you know, I told you Gabi is my friend. So when she comes, tell her that I'll be interested in sharing some ideas.
Okay, so if we ask the question and they are willing to involve you.
Once Gabi is my friend,
why not?
It will be a total honor to work with whoever, because I feel like the service part is the most critical part.
Yeah.
But I fear that's the part that will also be missed. And then we might not get optimal results for the Black Star experience.
Yeah. So my producer is giving me something. He said it's some research work done by the Institute of Customer Service Professionals.
Correct.
Right, we have it. Okay, so that's what we have on the screen.
Yes.
Okay, you'll have it on your screen pretty shortly. Customer Service Index.
Yes.
Ghanaians, we have, no. The first slide, 80%, 88% Ghanaians, male 56%, and then female 44%, definitely female below. Okay, the next one, So in education, we have University of Ghana professionals, 52%. SSS, SHS, secondary, 19%. Teacher training, 9%. Vocational, technical, commercial, 9%.
There's a profile of respondents, I think. I think so. So they should go to the results. Let's see what they have over there.
So they're the sector scores. In transportation, we are 86%. Petroleum, 85%. Hospitality, 78%. Banking, 78%. Retail mail, 72%. E-commerce, 72%. Public institutions, 71%. Healthcare, 69%, which I don't even believe. Insurance, the previous one. This is
healthcare, insurance, telecoms, and utilities. This is interesting. We just need to understand when it relates to, and then we can validate it, and then the healthcare 69 you are suspecting.
I'm just having the index, but exactly what is it talking about? Are we talking about good customer service or bad customer service? What's the measurement? What are we measuring here? Sector score, we have organization score, valid responses. So positively, we're 62%. Negatively, we're 39%. Neutral, I can't see the neutral. It's too faint. I can't see it at all. But Midway Hospital, we have University of Ghana Medical Center, UGMC. Okay, so this is the health sector.
The breakdown, yeah.
The breakdown. Midway Medical is 98. University of Ghana is 84. Holy Family Catholic Hospital 84, and Volta Regional Hospital 83, and then 37 Military Hospital 76. Where is Rich Hospital?
No, they said top, so it means that they didn't fall in the top 5.
Good.
I think that's the way they are.
Well, they don't even fall in the bottom 4. Even in the bottom 5, they don't fall. Look, Rich Hospital must be very careful. I think that when this issue came up,
yes,
the reviews that were coming, yes, everybody talking about Rich Hospital. Absolutely. It was almost like it opened the Pandora box.
Indeed.
And everybody was talking, sharing their experience, their horrible experience with Rich Hospital.
Indeed.
Sometimes 37 Hospital also comes in.
Yes.
So it shows somewhere how 37 Hospital, I think 37 Hospital sometimes focuses more on the military people, and after that, if it's not military.
Have you heard of a lady called Mabel Akubanase?
Yes.
Very famous lady. In 2015, she went to fight some insurance company 10 years ago. So she put it on social media, and then everybody else fought insurance companies in this country. So the way you are saying it, as soon as one institution pops up in a sector, everybody with issues comes. Yeah. Eventually, the issue was resolved, and then she came to say it had been resolved. But the point I make is that people have a lot of issues sector by sector. So this data we've seen is a start. But I think we need to... You
made reference to a headline.
Yes, this one.
No. In the references, the stories that were captured, Ghanaians should speak up against poor service.
Yes.
In those, the first quotes you were giving. Yeah, those ones.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I can leave all
that
of them
Ghanaians should speak up.
They should speak up. If it's not working, we have to say it. Ghanaians can no longer accept reasons for poor service.
Exactly.
Yes. This was 2011. President Mahama
was
vice
2011.
president. Then in 2025, he says, this must change. This is the Ghana Web headline. President Mahama laments over poor service at storage sites.
I want the one that said Ghanaians should speak against poor service or something like that.
Okay.
You read something.
I'll look for that last one.
Something, something on that.
Yes.
You know.
So
it's how that's how I live.
Indeed.
You don't
accept poor service.
No, that one I can be as quiet as you want, but no, that one.
You revolt. Come on.
It won't happen.
Okay.
If worse can be that I might not even pay.
That is it.
For the service. That's how bad I can be.
But it's a protest against the
exactly.
delivery. Madam, keep it up. If we have more like you in this country, we'll all sit up and
you know, because some people can't speak up. And if you can, you have to be the voice to others who cannot speak up, because it will have a rippling effect. What they will do to you, they will do it on to others as well.
Will.
Prof, I think we'll leave it here.
No problem.
And we'll see if we can lobby through Gabi.
Yes, the famous Gabi. Yes, exactly.
The famous Gabi.
My fancy sister, yes.
For you to be a part of the Black Star experience.
Indeed. So thank you very much and enjoy your week.
University of Ghana is glad to have you, proud to have you. I'm sure they are also enjoying your business school. They are enjoying your support, your knowledge that you're sharing, the books that you have.
Yes, please.
I think you should leave some at the front desk.
No problem at all,
So that
madam.
if people also want to, or companies really.
No, they should go online. All my books are on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So you order straight, then it comes straight to your purpose box.
They should order in what name, Professor Henson?
Oh, no, just look for the book on Amazon and buy it straight.
Oh, no, because I don't know all the titles, they should probably key in something.
Okay, I'll send you a list. Then tomorrow you show the list as a follow-on from today's show.
Right.
And they can go and buy all.
Right.
God bless you, Annie.
Right.
Have a good day.
Prof, thank you so much. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, take care.
So on this note, we'll just take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll have a time also on the show with Gabriela Tete, and also we'll have Dr. Ikiamwako, who is now the deputy spokesperson for Dr. Baumia. Be back shortly.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friendly Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Tum preko.
Healthy soil is where every great harvest begins. At ACAP, we turn waste into wealth, producing rich organic compost made right here in Ghana for our farmers and our future. Whether you are planting small or big, ACAP compost improves your soil, boosts your yields, and saves you money. Even in your own home garden, give your soil life naturally. ACAP compost, from waste to wealth.
Promo. Your most preferred estate partner is given a massive 20% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Founders Day promo, Estate Masters is offering this special discount for outright purchases up till the end of September 2025.
Purchase your tracks today.
This cuts across all our available sites, and upon purchase, you get to enjoy a free indenture and free site plan. Our site visits are also free, so rush now and secure a plot of land while this offer lasts. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from to be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Senya God the apple boom. If you put it at so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
All right, so this is the current state of the Ayensu River. Now, President John Dramani Mahama made it clear that the country or his government is not in a rush to declare a state of emergency in the fight against illegal mining. But looking at the destruction of this water or this river, that's the Ayensu River, the calls keeps growing for the state of emergency to be declared in the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Now, the MPP, led by the Director of Communications of the party, of the Baumia campaign, Dennis Miracles Abuaji, today led a delegation of some party members to help or gather enough evidence when it comes to the destruction being caused by the illegal mining. For the interim, he's calling for the NDC government to provide mechanized boreholes for this particular community whose river, that's the Ayensu River, has currently been destroyed due to activities of illegal mining. From the Agona East district of the Central Region, Michael Addo reporting for Metro News.
Another location, but the same Ayensu River. And ladies and gentlemen, look at the color of the river. And as you can see the community members around, this is where they actually do everything. You can see the rocks. This is where they come and wash. This is where they fetch water. This is where the children bath. This is where they play. But look at the river. Barely 1.5 months ago, this place was full, with community members jumping in and out of the water on a Sunday like this, having fun. Those who cook around were also cooking around. Those who wash around are washing around. But look at this river. And this is supposed to be the region for the government communications minister, who is asking us to show him evidence. And I'm surprised he didn't know, but this is supposed to be his region. Let me repeat. The community around here, from Nkrumah, Kwenyako, Asafo, descending, they have no potable water. And so, whilst we even continue to fight and pursue these Galamseyers, who are not in this district, these Galamseyers are mining in Eastern region. And the effect of the mining in Eastern region is what we are seeing in Central region. About 11 districts are affected by this Ayensu River situation. Whilst we urge the government to fight this and win it, we appeal to the government to put in some interim measures for the community. They need boreholes urgently. They need boreholes urgently. What I've seen with my eyes and what all of you, our friends with the media, you've seen with your eyes, you agree that we cannot wait till this water is clean to the level that was before. There's an old lady here that has the state of the river barely 1.5 months ago. That is shown to us. I will take a copy and I'll give to you. And you compare how this river was somewhere in July as compared to as it is now in September. We cannot afford to sit down and allow this government to gaslight us with few pictures and videos in the name of we are fighting Galamsey, when the true Galamsey is happening and is destroying our water or water bodies. But whilst at that, please, the boreholes are needed for the community. There are senior members of the National Democratic Congress who are from this area. This is the Agona East District. And the community members are just telling me that our senior statesmen like the Ahoys are all from this district. Please, they need to come back home quickly and put in an emergency arrangement to get their people some boreholes to drink. They can instruct, they are senior members of the party. They can instruct the water and resources minister to quickly come and plant some boreholes in the Agona East District as an interim measure, whilst they mount pressure on their government to fix the river for their own people. Thank you very much. Etia yabaha anopa wei ene se anano omampeni John Dramani Mahama ene ensantwefo nyankitawudie ba yehu se omunkitawudie mu no ensemo ano omampeni nka no enhye nkran ena emma ahokeka nso yetie ni se yeyam hihye kakra se yansori prekope ne yama yehu so a wanhwa na aban entumi entu anamo a esese otumi tu efa Galamsey nsem no ho ade ba ko so ma yeyam hihye ne se NDC aban wei
a record of not fighting Galamsey enough. In fact, our NDC abreso and a Galamsey ya yehunu won suo so na yehunu won remu epie wo ya my way mu na epie ya no ọma ntumi entu ho na mo papa bia andi dwumadie papa bia amfa ho enamanu so nti se wo hwe Water Resources Commission ehwehwe mo omo ye efi 2005 ebepema na wo behu se between the year asa 2010 a Galamsey yi ehya ase no na ye nsuo a ye wo be ye 40 de na nsuo no eni da ho a yetumi edidi dwuma and so by the time I do 2016 a NDC aban efi aban mu no na ensuo mako 40 no emu 25 asai ema akamu 15 epe akamu 16 pe madaroma ebusuafo eno ema yehu se NDC aban enhye dan ni anamonto pia ombetumetu afa ye Galamsey ho especially we share them year between 2010 and 2016 now. And I'm a nusinti omampeni na nado danko ekufado eba ye no. Ode ntutuye anase ode nyama gu akwemu si ade beko Galamsey. Yakokopem 2024 no. Na yensuo 25 na ase no. Omampeni ekufado ateso e de aba 10. Ema ensuo na emu 15 pe e na ye papa no. Omampeni ekufado anamuntu ana MPP aba anamuntu etu ye no 15 no emu apeja eko 29 de ye ka nyina ne se NDC for record omo efa Galamsey ene yensuo ho banbo ho no enye record papa enu nti se omampeni Mahama ene ye di nkomo.
Welcome back to the studio. Welcome back into the studio. My ladies who have joined me here. We've had a good one here. Off camera. We're going to have another one on camera. So, Dr. Kiamako is with us, and she is now the deputy spokesperson for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who is also one of the flag bearer aspirants for the NPP. He's been going around. He's been doing a lot of work with delegates, hoping to, catch their attention for them to give him the nod to lead the party. Doctor, you're welcome. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning.
And how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome back from Ashanti region.
Yeah, Ashanti region. Yeah, that was some time ago. I think we spoke after that.
Yes, after that.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Gabriela Tete is also here, and she is also the Central Regional Communications Officer for the NDC. And sometimes you say director, officer. Please, the difference is that the NPP says director. The NDC is officer, right? So that's
when
what
NPP is appointed, NDC is elected.
Yes, NDC is also elected, and NPP is appointed. Yeah. Thanks for the more clarity on that. You're welcome. It's been a while.
Thank you.
Were you in Accra or you were in the region?
A bit of both, but more in Accra. And let me say this: I have to apologize to Professor Henson, because he and I have had great conversations on promoting Ghana, the brand Ghana, and the whole Black Star Express. I'm a dying-the-wood Pan-Africanist and an Nkrumah.
Yes.
And so the whole Black Star experience, it goes just beyond trying to promote tourism per se. For me, it's about putting Ghana on a Pan-African pedestal, like how people who believe in communism will go to China to look for Chairman Mao's history. And I'm very happy that in the Western region, Honorable Boa has seen to the renovation of Nkrumah's birthplace. And they've tried to keep the original state. They did not renovations, but they've tried to keep the integrity of the original structure, the beddings, the pots, everything, so that when you walk in there, you get a feel of Nkrumah from there. And how tourists can now move on a journey from Western region into Accra to the mausoleum. And then I'm going to disagree with John Mahama a bit on one thing, that you're going to pass through Central region to get to Western region and come back to Greater Accra region. We don't want them to go and come back in a day. you know, we have a lot of resorts now in Central Region, so we want them to stay in Central Region. So we are looking forward to the completion of that road in quick record time, but we want the people to also stay for the experience in Central Region, because right now we have a whole lot in Central Region, from slave trails to the best resorts currently are in Central Region. You've heard of the Crown, which opened in August. It's an 800-acre resort, eco-resort. But within that Crown is a slave footpath that takes you on a journey of how the ancestors to the Black Americans were made to walk day and night from Denchira, Asin, all the way through Gomwa into Efutu to Senya, where we had a fort. You know, the thing about Central Region is that we have so many forts and castles, and each of them tells a peculiar story about whether it was the Dutch or it was the Portuguese or it was the English. Everybody has left their footprints there for us. So we have a whole lot to sell. But my apologies to Professor Henson. I called Anabu Jifa, and we were supposed to have a meeting, but she was out of town, and I was supposed to do a repeat after that so that we go and share our ideas with her to really promote that whole experience, especially on the Black Side experience and Kwame Nkrumah. And it's good we had Kwame Nkrumah's anniversary yesterday, because the whole thing for me yesterday and this whole weekend about trying to remember the legacy of Nkrumah is the new African. And who is the new African? Since Kwame Nkrumah gave that speech on Independence Day, that there's a new African in the world, since 1957. Who is this new African? Beyond us breaking the chains that holds us in slavery and imperialism and colonialism and doing away with all those things, who are we in the world? Where is our place in the world? And that, for me, is something that you have to experience, go on a kind of like a pilgrimage to identify who really is the new African.
So I think, the president made a statement in Singapore, and he trying to describe what Ghana represents. And he gives a pictorial view that if you look at Ghana's map, the map itself looks like a door, a small door or a gate into Africa. So that's why, I don't know if he created his own story or he was actually speaking the truth. He says, so if they say that Ghana is a gateway to Africa, just look at the map. You will see that it looks like a gate or a door or something as an entrance. And I thought that was a fantastic way of trying to sell the country, you know, to other people.
It is, but it will go straight back to Nkrumah and this idea of a new African and a new Africa and its place in globalization.
Yeah.
And Nkrumah, beyond giving us independence and inspiring his generation of leaders, Nkrumah was a president's president. He was a president's leader. This is somebody who was able to sell his vision to the likes of Nyerere and the rest, and within the continent of Africa, started breaking the chains of apartheid. Apartheid, even though it was a 1990 resolution, the fight for apartheid, to end apartheid in Southern Africa, started long before that. So to have all these leaders at that time follow his vision, at the time when the blacks in America were going through a lot of rioting and trying to get basic rights granted them, the likes of Martin Luther King, the likes of Malcolm X, all those people who became civil rights leaders in America, at a point in time, in their own personal journeys, had to make that pilgrimage to Ghana to meet Kwame Nkrumah. Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, all of them came back into Ghana for that experience. And that is why nobody can compare to Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Not today, not tomorrow. He's incomparable on the continent and even in this country. And as I said, Nkrumah is a president. That was a man, my man. That was a man. He was a man.
There's a message I received some time ago, the last time you came. I didn't read it on air.
What was that?
But I read it after the show. The person is, Annie, have you seen that you haven't seen any appointments for Gabi? She's always contesting the people.
But, you know, and when you made a reference to Singapore, and Prof also made mention to Singapore.
Yeah.
You see, Lee Kuan Yew built Singapore on service because Singapore had nothing. And Lee Kuan Yew came to the firm realization that truly, after we break away from Malaysia, we have nothing.
Yeah.
And the only way to make Singapore is service. But service is not something like a phone. You've seen the features and you like it. Service is experienced in the moment. So whether you enjoy or you don't enjoy it, it is in the moment, right? Lee Kuan Yew, when he was building Singapore, and I want to make this reference, especially with the airline, Singapore Airline. The key feature of Singapore Airline is not the quality of the aircraft that they have. And yes, they have the best Boeings and they have the best Airbuses. But from that very onset of the inception of Singapore Airlines, he said the first person that anybody meets when they are entering Singapore is the Singaporean air hostess. So even the caliber of people who become air hostesses on their flights, Annie, it is not a small competition that you go through. The interviews, the examinations, to get the right characteristics of who the Singaporean girl is. To become an air hostess. When you're an air hostess of Singaporean Airlines in Singapore, you are more than Miss Ghana. Your caliber and everything will be different level.
The standards are high.
Very.
Very high.
And it is not surprising that to this very day, Singapore Airlines is amongst the top 15 airlines in the world. And it is rated as a 5-star airline in the category of Qatar Airways or Qatar Airlines. And then Emirates. And as part of a member of the Star Alliance. So that no matter where you are in the world, they have that collaboration. And in terms of also, Singapore Airlines is also one of the best in terms of revenue and kilometers flown. And look at this small country you went to visit called Singapore. And that is leadership. So the whole thing with customer service is something that we as a people and as a country ought to take very, very seriously. We've had a lot of programs. We have this now, the Year of Return, and I'm one of those ones who will be very brutally honest with everybody. I am tired of all the time selling sad stories with castles and slaves. So the whole thing with the Year of Return, when we now have partying, it calls to a new generation of black people. You can't call the young black Americans and come and tell them we're going to tell you stories about slave trade and how you ended up in America. And then what? But when you give them the return and the Year of Return and partying and 24-hour partying, they know that the trick to the 24-hour parties that you sleep from 8 o'clock, wake up at 2 o'clock, then you go and party till 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock you are still jamming. So they think that we are partying 24/7. Nobody's partying 24/7.
But you know, to a certain extent, that storyline.
But it's a good
to a certain extent,
and it draws them together.
Yeah, but to a certain extent, the point you're making here, the storyline of selling sad stories to the now generation makes them behave the way they're behaving in other countries where they find themselves, in the US, where they thought that they were slaves or their great-grandparents were slaves. That's what makes them feel they are entitled. So they don't even, want to work.
The new African.
Yes, it's true.
That is how you emancipate and get the new African. Break these chains of, it is over. It is, yes, the remnants is there. We'll tell their story, but beyond that, we need to tell good stories.
Right.
And draw a new crowd. And I also have to say this. Over the years, I've observed, and I'm very happy about this also, that beyond bringing people into this whole return and experiencing the culture and the vibe of Ghana and the vibrancy, Professor Ainsi made mention about how now Nigeria is now competing with us. But the difference between Ghana and Nigeria is that everybody knows what the Nigerian experience is going to be like. But you are more safer in the Ghana environment than the Nigerian environment. And so it is always important that the Ghana experience is able to up that character, that among the two, you can go and listen to the same Afrobeats, all right. But there's nothing like the Ghana experience when it comes to the December holiday jamming. Now, beyond that, I've also observed that a lot of the people who now come for these programs, they are now investing into real estate in Ghana. And that is important. Because in their part of the world, where they are denied even things like housing, and for them to feel that there's a welcoming environment for them here, that they can own property, that they and their children can now come and live with us, and we are very welcoming. That alone is also another positive thing for us. Last month or last 2 months, I was on social media and I noticed Moses did a post about some exhibition they went to somewhere in the States. And there was a whole whole army of blacks in one of the at one of the counters, and he did a post and he said, all these people are Black Americans who are making deposits to own a piece of land in Ghana. And I was like, wow, you know this estate property called Sambra, the Sambra project.
The Sambra project, yes.
The focus is on
bringing them back,
Black Americans and those of the diaspora.
For them to have a community.
Yes. And
I read about it, I watched the video. It was a very interesting, I don't know, something that I thought, wow.
And they'll bring investment.
What am I supposed to even think of or make of this? Like, it was so much.
I found out that there's a property development going on in Central Region, in Gomwa East. And you have to see the buildings. And it's a whole estate of about 60 houses.
Yeah.
And it's owned by a Black American girl.
Yeah. Oh.
Seriously. And there are a lot of off-plan projects. Off-plan is that you make a deposit and then they start your construction for you and then you make periodic payments and then you take it over. And the design alone, the architecture alone, this last few months, I've been trying to get pockets of the best places in Central Region to promote. And that's why I chanced on these developments. And I was like, wow, even I want to live there. I don't know how I'm going to own one, but I want to live there. Beachfront property, it's real estate, beachfront property, real estate.
I think most of them, the Sambra projects, the land is also beachfront, no?
I've seen the animation advert. I haven't really seen where the exact thing is.
Okay,
I see a lot of videos on TikToks of Black Americans who have been introduced to their parcels of lands and they are bending down and knocking their heads to the ground and they feel like they are home. And that is important. That is how you get the tourism. That's how you get the experience started. And they go back and they become like the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. They go back and preach the gospel of what is going on in the community. And then gradually, you see more people are trooping in. You are getting the best quality of people coming to invest their monies, their resources. And then we move forward. So it's a good experience. It's a good experience.
Happy holiday.
So, Anna Bujifa, I'll come back and look for you.
With Professor Henson.
With Professor Henson. I have to. Oh, he helped me a lot during the campaign period. I used to pick his mind on political communication, marketing. You know, Central Region can be a very difficult region.
Yes.
Because of the different.
It is one of the difficult regions.
The dynamics. And so I used to call him and just step him a lot. And then I met him at the business school also. Even though he didn't lecture, my lecturer is called Professor Victoria Mann.
Okay.
Very lovely woman. But I have to go and see Anna Bujifa to conclude on this matter.
All right. Professor Henson, please write it in your diary. Great. Okay. You have something
I
to
don't have
add
so much to say on this topic. I think this is the only time that I am finding myself agreeing a little bit with Gabriella's point of view. Because I do agree that, you know, we are tired of the sad stories and it's never a good thing to be stuck in the mindset of victimhood. Your life is now and it's always better to look forward and see how you can improve things. So I was quite happy with the way the year of return was handled. Not too long ago, I met a nice gentleman and he was really lambasting me on behalf of all MPP communications that we don't talk enough about the year of return and the great impact it had to our economy. So I'm glad that, you know, it's become something that is clear for everybody to see that was a great initiative of reintroducing the Ghanaian experience to diaspora and in a way that they found really appealing and it caught on. All you need to do is take your phone on social media and you can see that now is a craze. At the end of a very tiring year in the diaspora, a lot of them look forward to coming to Ghana. The Nigerians have hopped on and now it's becoming a little kind of competition, but I'm very proud that that's one of the things that we got right and it's something that is not really disputable. So I don't have much to say. Today, Gabby and I are on the same page on the first problem.
That's really not a problem. I'm going to come there. It's just every time we mark anything that has to do with Ghana celebration, it's like we are at one point marking time, and it's always lamenting. So when Prof was on, he read back-to-back headlines of leaders every year, 20 years back, and it was the same headline.
That's actually what's supposed to be.
And it is frustrating.
Service quality. It should be spearheaded by management. And the person who benefits the most is actually the chief executive of the MD. Because if the company is not performing, it means that you are not performing. As to whether a customer will return to your brand or to buy your product, it is the first person is you, the chief executive. If you don't give operations resources to manufacture to quality and they are doing the shoddy product, when you buy and experience the thing for the first time, will you go back for a second time? You wouldn't. If marketing doesn't have the resources to do promotion, how will anybody know the product exists and it has these features and it can solve these problems? Nobody will know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what you think. It's where we're looking at generally brand Ghana. Presidents after presidents have had issues from Kufuor, his ministers, to Mills, to Nanado, to Mahama, to Nanado, to Mahama again, and it's all complaints. They see that
Kufuor gave you to Indom. Did Kufuor himself? Did you see Kufuor himself talking about the reforms? He gave you to Indom and he presented you handle it. Then under Professor Mills, we had Brand Ghana. We started something, but just at the foundation level, no, unfortunately, Matthias died, then Brand Ghana just went through. But it starts from the very top. And once the top prioritizes that this is the way we are going, because you see, that's what Professor Henson is talking about. It is something that has to be embedded in your culture. You understand?
But the point I was making is that it seems to be a leadership problem. That's why every time I sit here, I say leadership is cause, everything else is effect. I don't know who doesn't go with that school of thought. I do. Because if you are leaders and, you know, from time to time, every leader is complaining about it. Okay, we have heard you.
You know, that's another one of the problems.
We don't seem to have any, we don't put in any deliberate effort in, okay, this is becoming a problem. I cannot have presidents, ministers, ambassadors of other countries come here, and every time they go back, the report I get back is your services are poor. And they tell you, the president, this is like first-hand information. It's not me telling you, it's not Gabi, it's not Ikea. It is your own visitors who have come into the country that are telling you that your services are poor.
You know, we have a
So you should know that you need to do something
nationally. We have a tendency
to
be a little bit lackadaisical in this country. We don't take ourselves too seriously all the time. You see, you can go into an office with a lot of urgency and you expect to be treated with that same level of urgency, and you'll be very disappointed not to get that. And the Nigerians, I mean, my Nigerian friends would like to say that Ghanaians like to take things cool. And that seems to be the albatross in this case. Because if you had that same urgency and drive that, you know, I hate to do this comparison, that sometimes our Nigerian brothers and sisters have, even if it's 10 pesos that they are working at, it's with a little more energy. But Ghanaians can tell you that, I mean, how much is it? I don't know if it's just... I don't know if it's like just being comfortable with where we are. It's exactly.
I mean, which culture is
the culture. But you know, I don't like to be...
You see, I think that...
is the way of life.
No, but I can understand. But you see, when in this context, when we talk about culture, let's not make it look like this is culture. This is behavior.
I agree with you.
It's not culture.
It is a translation of our nature to be very calm and nonchalant. But I do not like to just be negative. I think there's slowly an improvement. Like Prof was saying, a lot more companies and groups seem to be investing, and they are seeing the need for customer experiences. Even in my small clinic, we've tried to have a lot of workshops and things to train all of us so that we are treating patients and clients with the best foot forward, even when they are being very difficult. And sometimes it's not that easy. You're under a lot of pressure. You had a long day, and somebody also comes in really stressing you. It requires a lot of training and retraining to constantly be in the frame of mind to be able to treat them in a good way. So I don't like to be too negative. I do think an improvement is happening. People are, and I think it's also the competitiveness in our nature, especially now with all the, because I think he was making a reference to the banks. Now there are so many that for you to stand out, you need to truly provide a better customer experience, or you will not survive in the marketplace. So I think the general competitiveness in our sector is also driving people to invest in it, because these kinds of things, you might think you're a nice person, but it just takes somebody meeting you on a bad day for you to react in a way that you shouldn't have reacted. But if you are trained and retrained in, you know, handling difficult situations, to know that, no, your bad day shouldn't affect the outputs that you give to people. I think slowly we'll begin to see improvements.
There are some things I think as a country, when we pick from there, like I said, leadership is course. it will help shape our mindset. When a Ghanaian goes into a different country, say Dubai, as they always do, you cannot trash because you see that the place is clean. There's no trash. You see that it is so orderly that you know your conscience will now prick. You understand?
The system is working.
The system is working. In this country, sometimes I'm in a car and I'm watching someone walk in the median. Not because the person wants to walk in the median, but it's because the person has seen a footpath in the median, right? What is stopping the country from organizing a whole, this youth, they are not working. With the pebe 20 youth, who say a higher modia, say 5 kilometers is for you. Weed the place. We will give you a space to teach you how to plant grass, water them on the daily basis or on a monthly basis, whatever. Some structure. Sweep the place. I was here driving down the traffic light just in the corner here. There was a woman who sits there to beg for alms. And she was literally sweeping where she sits. She was sweeping it onto the road.
In her head, she's doing some cleanup.
So I said, Madam, then how you know?
In her head, she's doing
cleaning the environment. Yeah. But she is in a system that is, you know. So I'm just saying, there are some things that governments must take charge. When you do, Mahama did this thing at Circle. That thing got messed up. I don't know how it got messed up.
The decongestion.
No, the Mahama Dubai. We called it Mahama Dubai.
Yeah.
The lighting, the waterfall, and the lighting thing. It still works?
Yeah, it works. They turned it on in December when the NDC won. But certainly I don't know whether they keep it on. But it works. When dancing waterfall.
Wait, they turned it on when? In
December? In December after we won the election.
I think...
No, you see, I'm just taking your mind onto the optics of the country. Some things just make the country beautiful and it works on our mind.
Yeah.
Well, how do I get a problem and then I get up and go and sit at the sea or at the shore? That's because it has... It gives me some soothing and peaceful, you know, I can reflect, I can... Imagine that Circle Dubai. And I have a problem. I just go and sit there.
People go there and take pictures.
Have fun. Sit there with my boyfriend, you know, just, you know, have a chit-chat, something, whatever.
This is reminding me of, you see, in Kumasi, the airport roundabout, they always design it really nice for Christmas. And it turns into like a lover's nest.
We build beautiful roads. Look, this new road that we've done at the Palace Mall, that area, airport going to the Spintex, the new Spintex, the Flowerport area. When you go there at night, there are no street lights on the road.
It needs to be done.
The medians of the road is not done. It's like, it's just there and we're just driving on it.
I think,
but the road is fine. It's just
to really
perfect.
deal with that problem. If we are really being honest, and today let me put off my political lens just a little, it will require cooperation between both of us. Because to fight some of these problems, you have to be blunt. Like I know a decongestion exercise was started, and quickly the people came back onto the road, and it becomes very tough for governments to fight it. Why? Because your opponent is going to use, the people are going to be angry, and your opponents are going to stoke that flame, and so the problem will never get fixed. When you come, you also are very invested and you want to fix that problem. But again, you are very much aware of how it can easily be used against you. And so we continue to allow the status quo to go on. But if we get to a point where we decide, no, we need a clean Ghana, we want our systems to work, it will require some collaboration. So that it's not like one person is walking the talk and trying to do this, and another group is just throwing mud at it. Because it's very easy to incite the people, especially when in the short term, it looks like you are taking away their livelihoods because you are sacking people from the streets. It's very easy to stoke their emotions against that party. Then another person comes and tries to do that, and the same thing happens. And if you look at it, especially with that congestion matter, it has been repeating cycle after cycle after cycle. And in that case, honestly, I blame us. Like, we cannot help but make political capital out of a lot of things. And
so indirectly, the politicians are problems.
We have to, not that we are the problem. The people of Ghana, we are all parts. No, we are all
we're not all
No,
past.
because why do you want to go and sit at a place that you know you're not supposed to
in
sit?
summary, what you said is that the politicians are our problem.
No, I'm just saying that if we want to solve it, as you are talking about,
you have
leadership,
to remove your political cap.
Yes, you have to.
But because one political party knows that this one, if you do it, it will make Ghana nice and it will make you win love from the people. So we will kick against it. That has been the cycle.
Well, sadly, that has been the cycle. But you know, if we also had a situation or a country where people just didn't do that, there are places where they are just very much self-aware about their surroundings and things. Sadly, we don't have that. So we would have to sort of train and retrain the population. And that will require a combined effort that, I mean, let's hope and pray happens in my lifetime.
We're not going to pray. We're going to work.
You're going to force us to do it.
Yes, you have to be forced. Yeah, you have to be forced to do it.
Look down and ask us that is my beloved child in whom I'm well pleased.
I'm well pleased.
Yeah. We don't need prayers right now.
You know, we have to force people to do it. Because if I talked about the median, if I'm walking about somewhere, some long road, on some long path, and I see that there's a median with a pathway, and I just want a short whatever, I'll just cross and because I've seen people walking there. It's allowed.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, if leaders do not allow that to happen, the people will follow.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So when they try to blame people, they blame people, they blame people, you think Singaporeans are not like Ghanaians?
No, but
if you give them the chance.
They've had some very consistent training for a very long time.
Exactly my point. I'm just saying that their behavior is shaped by leadership. It's not because they are angels. They are not.
And I think Singapore is a very great example because you can easily go and see what they were like before they had that one true leader that changed things. I also like to use the example of South Korea because at a point in time, Ghana, South Korea, and a few other African countries, we had the same GDP. Then one man took over and decided that, you know, I want to see some exponential growth, and he was able to achieve that. So I do think...
But that's because there's also consistency in leadership. South Korea, for example...
The person was in government for a very long time.
I was having this discussion with Felix Kwachofosu. I think I was interviewing him, and I asked that question, that does he recognize that consistency in countries that we are always trying to put ourselves, compare ourselves to, Singapore is because of, you know, Lee Kuan Yew and Nkrumah's relationship. So it's made us always try to make reference because they've taken ideas from our leader. But other leaders as well, they've had that long consistency because of how their leaders were, either military or autocratic leadership, whatever it is, and has given them that consistency all the way. We don't have that advantage here. What we have, there's also advantages to it, but also it looks like the disadvantages are so much.
We need strong systems. That's the only way that we can have those things. And we just need to develop into good people, or we need to allow more good people into political office. Because if you inherit a system and something has been put in place, and truly in your heart of hearts, you know this is good for the people of Ghana, why then do you come and intentionally orchestrate a smear campaign so you can stop it just because you didn't start it? Those are the kinds of things that drag us back. I actually am a very big believer in self-determination, so I do not believe that any leader should impose themselves on any group of people for an extended period of time. It leads to having too much power, and we all know what that does to people. So you might be able to achieve a lot, but you might have upset so many people down the road that the people in your country are genuinely not happy about your leadership. So I always like to see the advantage to self-determination and democracy. The problem becomes when the systems themselves are not working effectively, and so one person can come and do something, and then the next person comes and is thrown away. If we're able to get to a point where Ghana, no matter what it is either going to be MPP or NDC ruling the country, and there's some kind of agreement that we both put the well-being and the advancement of Ghana ahead, I do think we'll see progress, because it will be a very effective kind of power-sharing agreement if it is just directed towards the growth of this country. And I do believe that as part of the young generation of leaders, I'm really beginning to see that we are beginning to cultivate that spirit in ourselves, and I hope that it doesn't get eroded as we grow.
I'll read this message and we'll go into the next issue. And this one says, good morning, Annie. This is from Carlos. The real issue with Galamsey lies with the NDC government, which has allowed itself to be publicly challenged by those behind it. While in opposition, the NDC accused some MPP bigwigs even people at the Flagstaff House under Akufo-Addo of fueling Galamsey and polluting our waters. Now, they promised to arrest, expose, and prosecute these perpetrators. Yet today, what has been done? One to me was arrested for only 2 days and released, later boasting about it. The same alleged bigwigs now encourage their supporters, to escalate Galamsey, to tarnish the government's image. Why hasn't the government named and prosecuted these so-called kingpins? Professor Frimpong Boateng's report to the President Akufo-Addo listed names. What has been done about them? 8 patriots have died in the fight. The government must act decisively. From Carlos Ododio. You sent that in, Carlos. Thank you for the message. This one says, Nkrumah is a critical thinker. He has no match in Africa. Sumaila Horoya Ali, Greater Accra Regional Zongo, you say, thank you. Mansa Musa, good morning to you and happy holiday. He says, Adani, Gabriela said, no one compares to Nkrumah. Reminds me of some songs which I'm devoting to you, pretty and intelligent ladies on the show. The Nkrumah birthday tribute songs are No One Compares to You by Jack and Jack. Nothing Compares to You by Sinid Okono. Is that his name? Okono. Sinid Okono. Okay. Simply the Best by Tina Turner. And then Diamonds Are Forever. Diamonds Are Forever. Okay.
Yes,
that's Shirley Bassey. Good morning to you, ladies. From Mansa Musa, good morning to you in the UK, and I hope you're doing fantastic as well. Tafa Inamrahia says that Annie, the miracles Abuaji has no shame at all. This video you played on his pollution of the water river, he complained about didn't start this year. 90% of the destruction of our water bodies were done by his own party members. And here he is shamelessly blaming the NDC. If he just arrived in Ghana yesterday, he's welcome. Anyway, so let's go straight into Galamsey. Or producers, please alert me. Should I take a quick breather and come back?
I think we've already watched his video, so we don't have to watch it again.
No, we're taking a break. Should we? Okay, we can take a break. When we come back, Galamsey on the table.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nkrumah KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Wabedum tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Ziggy. I can say no, ya conati, and the more drink woman. Hey! But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eddie! Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Ah, Eddie! I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was a mosquito call is to do woman. Nasa is spray with them, sir. Chaisima a dronum and sana co dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream. And this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast, and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you all right?
You Are the One, proudly sponsored by The Luckiest, Appointed Time Printing, Time Herbal Mixture, Samu Spices, Givers Herbal Center, Blue.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kale Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hotel so a will bedroom.
Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kale Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kale, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
We are starting from Spanner to where? Jubilee House, 8 a.m. Come out in numbers.
Our President, Mr. President, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we voted for you because you presented yourself as a beacon of hope. But the trajectory that you are on, you are becoming a disaster too quick. The truth must be said, and the truth must be said once and for all. The circumstances that are surrounded our political leaders, that circumstances must be demolished and abolished right now. Mr. President, that you are going, the truth must be said that you are not caring for the good people of Ghana. How can you care for us when our waters are being polluted? Our whole central region, as we speak, the region does not have water. When the water heads, it has been watered. Water cannot be processed. Go to Koforidua, water cannot be processed. Go to Takwa, they don't have drinking water. And Ghana Water says they are going to increase the tariff by 280%. So who to pay? Are we mad in this country? Who to pay? President, we are raising the alarm that Galamsey has become a national emergency. Stop Galamsey! Now! Stop Galamsey! Now! Same energy, same energy has to go to President Mahama. The person come to camera also, yeah. Tomorrow is actually walk the talk. Tomorrow is what? Walk the talk. Tomorrow from Okumblo, 8 a.m. straight to Jubilee House. Straight to what?
Sorry, Spanner.
Spanner Junction. Okay. So we are starting from Spanner Junction to Jubilee House. So 8 a.m. We are doing this for Nkrumah. Nkrumah Ghana no. So Otina, we are starting from Spanner to where? Jubilee House. 8 a.m. Come out in numbers.
None of them are walking free. So we have to be here. And everybody who is here, Ayeko, but more of us need to understand that we are facing an existential threat. Yes. When this administration came, what was important to them was what? E-levy, betting tax. Yes. I don't think we will die if there's e-levy. And trust me, all of us will die if we don't have any pure water to drink. Yes. And let me say that when the water looks clear, does that mean it's safe? No. It doesn't mean it's safe. Lots of us think that, oh, it's clear, that it's safe, but it isn't. So we're being, in a sense, lied to, because when we get the clear water, we think it's safe. It isn't. Now, the Ghana Medical Association has come out to tell us about so many things going on. So I want to end here, because I think the children said it all. We are facing an existential threat, and I think we need to sit up. We need a state of emergency when? Now. And why do we need a state of emergency? If things can be done, we can clear our water bodies, remove the environmental terrorists from our water bodies, from our forest reserves, from our farmlands. We can do it yesterday, because time is what? Running out. Time is what? Running out. So if we know we can do all this, have special courts to be trying those who are behind this whole environmental terrorism. If we know that we can stop the excavators from coming in, but more importantly, we can have patrols on our water bodies and our forest reserves and stop the mailing, stop the house from burning, then yes, let's go ahead and do it. Otherwise, we are asking for a state of emergency to enable us to do the needful, to save us all from a certain death. Because what is going on is what? Killing all of us. Yes. Even those who are not aware that they are being poisoned. Even those engaged in the environmental terrorism, they are also being poisoned. Thank you for listening.
So you can belong to a political party, but when it comes to the time to address the party, when they are wrong and you can't find your voice, then you have lost yourself. Yes. So it's about time we speak truth to power. We are young, but we are not unwise, because wisdom is irrespective of age. Yeah. And many others who stood by us as brothers and sisters to fight against the ills of society some years back, some months back, are saying that the government today is just a baby government. But let me be truthful to you all. You do not need to be in active government to contribute to the governance of a country. It means while you were in opposition, you knew what was right and you were actually voicing them out. So when you take the seat of government, you don't need years to restructure this country. When we are in a state of emergency, urgency is key. So in 8 months, what have you done urgently to make us understand that going forward, you are actually going to reset, restructure, and make sure things work for the better? So you cannot be using your number of days or number of months in government to be an excuse for what's happening. Many others think they are enjoying luxury in their home because of what they shop in shopping malls.
All right. Hi, Annie. Tell Gabi I love her in-depth analysis this morning, but it seems that the show today is a Singaporean show. Do you know who sent this one? Who? Peter Mensah. Good morning to you, Peter. I hope you're doing well. All right, so just in case you're lost, the videos you saw is a demonstration by the team Fix the Country. And yes, they have not died out. fix the country. And they are saying what they said yesterday, they're saying that today, they're expecting some drastic measures to be taken by the current president as assured whilst in opposition. And, you know, of course, the campaigns, most of them were on the lines of Galamsey. And it is important, definitely, because it's an existential threat. It means that your life is directly dependent on it now. Either we're importing water or I don't even think that importing water will solve the problem. If you want to import water, fine. But that's not what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with trees. We're dealing with water. We're dealing with soil. Can you import soil as well? Well, no. So let me come to the guests who are geared up for this issue. Galamsey. Gabby, I'll start off with you, definitely. You've seen, we first played the videos of Miracles led a team to, what's the name of the place again? Konyako, yes. To, you know, show us the Ghana Water Company and their water plants, and then how the rivers were looking like. The turbidity obviously is up and all that. Why are you seeming lackadaisical about the fight?
I don't think we are lackadaisical about the fight. I think that it's important that we just refresh ourselves from where we are coming from. I'm not going to go into the NPP's history, but from where we are coming from and what the NDC has done over the last 8 months. In the last 8 months, we've now registered, first of all, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has started a process to revoke LI 2462, which is one of the critical legislations that civil society and all those against the abhorrence of Galamsey have been calling for. So that has started. We've recruited 980 what we call water guards. By close of year, we aim to recruit 2,000. So that means we still have about 1,020 people that we are working at getting clearance to recruit to deploy across the mining areas, especially along the water bodies. Now there's a new initiative that government is going to now have military bases also along the key water bodies. We've registered over 1,015 earth-moving equipments, including excavators, and 645, I think, 600, yeah, around 640, 646, 647, have been fitted with GPS systems to track their movements. Currently, you know that we had about 9 forests that were occupied by Galamseyers, armed Galamseyers. And now we've managed to get them all out and secure those forests. But that is not to say that their job is done, because clearly the job is far from done. Specifically to Central Region. And Annie, this morning I have to force myself not to get emotional about Central Region specifically, because what we are seeing in Central Region is of no fault of the indigents of Central Region. The people of Aguna East, Aguna West, Awutu Senya West, Gomwa East, Gomwa Central, part of Awutu Senya East, Efutu, Gomwa West, the constituencies that are dependent on the Konyako Water Works for water supply are not mining communities. Not even renting of mining equipment happens there. They are predominantly farmers, traders, and along the coast, fisher folks. But unfortunately, because of mining activities in Eastern Region, specifically in the Ayenswano constituency, where our intelligence has tracked that there were people at the mouth of Ayensu, the source of River Ayensu, mining in a community called Enum Apapam. And they are the cause of what is happening in Konyaku and Central Region.
So Konyaku is just the recipient of what's happening in those areas you mentioned, okay.
And the Konyaku water system is the water system that supplies water to the east side of Central Region. So we have about 13 districts that are grappling with water for the last 3 to 4 weeks. If you open the taps in Winnipeg today, the water that will come out of your taps, Annie, it is like, what's it called, lamujin or that drink.
Lamujin is white.
Through no fault of these people. And unfortunately, I'm as angry as I am. I have to force myself not to say certain things because I may end up inciting Central Region against the Eastern Region. What is happening is totally unfair to us. It is very, very unfair to us. And I expect that the Eastern Regional RECSEC and the district director and the district chief executive of Ayenswano will start working on how to get rid of those people on that stream. Because that is why our people are struggling this morning.
Which stream?
River Ayensu.
River Ayensu. So what is happening to the water bodies in the central region is the intake from the eastern region?
Yes. And
of Galamsey site.
This activity, the Konyaku Water Works had to be shut down because now, you see this water that is flowing. It's so, what do you call that? Turbidity levels is so high that there's now left a sludge of silt in the Konyaku water works system that if they attempt to run it, they'll destroy the pumps.
Oh.
So now the solution that is currently deployed now, we have over 80 what they call boreholes that are being drilled across these districts. There's a contractor has been assigned to do the desilting of the waterworks and to work on the pumps. I followed up yesterday, and I'm told that he's going to start working this week. He's mobilizing to go to site this week. We are watching him keenly, and if by close of week we don't see him in Konyaku, we're going to make sure that he should be replaced, and they should give us a new contractor. We want this issue resolved immediately, but the Eastern Region RECSEC has to set up because if care is not taken, we'll end up saying things to them. Eastern Region Galamseyers, what's it called? The task force should do more. There's so much dominance on NIMOS and the national. They are doing their part, but at the end of the day, every district must also do their part. Because if your actions or your inactions is reflecting on people downstreams, and we're not talking about just one constituency or one district, I mean, we are talking 13. Out of 23 districts, 22 districts in Central Region, 13 are having water crisis. Now, there are people who have private wells. So some community members are getting water supplied from these wells. The district assemblies and the MPs are all mobilizing water tankers for the last 2 weeks. They've just been deploying, like because of the drip equipment, they have these water tankers that they are now deploying together with some other private water tankers to supply water to these communities. In the mornings, they have arrangement to try and get water sachet producers to send water into their districts in the mornings. And will you believe that if the truck shows up at 4 a.m., there are already people there waiting to offtake those sachet water by 6 o'clock, it's finished. It tells you how dire the situation is. And as I said, I have to force myself not to direct myself into Eastern Region because if care is not taken, I end up inciting Central Region into Eastern Region. Eastern Region has to set up. Now, Miracles Abuaje, before they carried their podium to Konyaku, why didn't they address their press conference at Ayenswano, where the problem was?
Maybe he didn't know that the problem is coming from there.
So
but he obviously had to paint a picture of what's happening at Konyaku. I think his interest was to paint the picture of what's happening at Konyaku, not necessarily the root of the problem, but to tell you that this is how it is looking like.
No, the root of the problem was described in the videos.
So
no, but you see,
the root of the problem
but
is
technically what he's saying is that what she's saying that the root of the problem is not there.
Yes, it was said in the video. It was said in the press conference. Yes, that they don't do any Galamsey in the Agona East districts, but they are suffering as a result of something that's happening elsewhere. It was said.
Okay, then Gabriela, then that point is made.
But let me also make the point. When I was talking about what is being done, almost every district assembly now is servicing and repairing boreholes so that at least we can have water restored in these communities whilst we work on the bigger Konyaku waterworks. So I'll plead with inhabitants of Central Region, especially these constituencies that are affected by the water crisis, that they should please bear with us. But our DCs, our MPs, our leadership are doing everything possible to make sure that we get water available for them to mitigate the situation. And I think this is also of grave concern because there are some of the communities where when you see some of the water that they are falling on, it's not the best. And we don't want a situation where we have a crisis like this and we now have to come and battle a health crisis in addition.
Yeah.
So we are doing everything in our power to make sure that water is supplied to these districts, adequate water is supplied to these districts, whilst we work on the bigger Konyaku waterworks. But until Eastern region solves the problem in Eastern region, we'll come back to having to desert Konyaku waterworks again. So I'm sending this message into Eastern region that if they don't want us on TikTok and social media lambasting them, they should take more proactive measures in getting rid of those people at Ayen Swano who are in those mining in the rivers. If they don't want us marching into Eastern region, they should get rid of those people. Because what is happening to us, it is very unfair to us. My constituency is in the same enclave. Awutu Senya West, part of this from Agona East, you get into Awutu Senya West. So that is where my village actually is, on that side. So this thing is very close to home. It's not like because I have to speak for NDC and and I come to defend anybody. We don't want communicable diseases. We don't want this crisis on our hands. And we expect Eastern region to set up and do the right thing. And that goes to all the other communities whose activities is affecting water in Central region. We will not sit down for anybody to put us through this discomfort.
But you've sat down and you watched them, and they've finished you.
Finished who?
That's what they've done to you. Because today you are now buying water for everything, including drinking, cooking, washing, everything. You said you will not sit and watch anybody, whatever. I don't know what you will not do. But this, you have. This is not.
I said,
Gabi,
we are solving the problem.
This problem is not even 8 months problem. You know that.
It is beyond. But right now, ATC is in power, and NDC has resolved to solve the problem. So I've given you what timelines and what we are doing to solve the problem. I told you that we are distributing water, 2 water tankers, both from the drip equipment and private. I told you that we've spoken to water producers who now bring water sachets into their districts. I've told you that they've given a contractor to come and desilt the Konyaku waterwork system. And so we expect that these things are going to solve the problem. But when we have done our part in Central region, and Eastern region doesn't do their part, we'll come back to square one. And that is why I'm sending that strong message into Eastern region, that we are not going through all this hell to fix this problem, for you to continue this for us. It's different if we were minors, and our activities has caused this problem for us. Then we can look at our crisis in our feelings and see that, yes, this is the choice we have made to choose gold over water. But in the case where from where we come from, we are just farmers and traders. And we cannot sit down for anybody to come and distress our lives. We have not caused them. There's no reason why they should come and cause us.
Okay, let me bring it in.
This Galamsey conversation is very interesting now because I remember keenly getting to the close of last year. We would sit here and the tone of the argument was, it seems to have been turned upside down now. I'm quite happy that Gabriella has taken the path of honesty with all of this. I am also beginning to like the approach the NDC is taking, that now they are realizing that this Galamsey problem is endemic and it's not as simple as MPP is mining and destroying your water bodies, because that's the perception that they tried really hard to push. If we are being honest, Galamsey did not start in this country in 2017. In fact, it was such a problem that when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa was coming into office, he decided that it was one of the things he wanted to tackle head on. So let's not sit here or try to create the impression that Galamsey started in 2017. It had been there. It was a problem that almost all governments try to solve, and they don't seem to be able to come up with any cogent solution and they leave and go.
But the most licenses were issued in your regime.
Yes, again, we'll come to that. How do you want to say the most licenses were issued under a regime, and so that's the problem. Now you people want us to believe that there's a difference between legal mining and illegal mining. So what is wrong with licensing people so you can keep them in the regulatory brackets? If now we are being honest to say that not everybody mining is doing Galamsey, then that's arguments. When I don't know how, sometimes I can understand that you sit down around the table and you decide how do we go about this Galamsey conversation, because I see all your assigns on social media talking about these licenses. What does that have to do with your ability to solve the problem? That's why you were voted. That's why you were voted. You said a few things about solving it, and honestly, I just went
the ability to the correlation between the two of solving the problem is when you have a lot of licenses giving out, you have a larger problem to deal with. It means
that's
that
not true,
the margin of error will be big.
That's absolutely not true.
The people
that's not true. And let me
you gave out
explain to you
licenses which were legal. You gave out. There was something we called community mining. Now, most of these community miners, you go into the communities and they were really doing community mining.
No, so you have to really, you know that same community mining has been relaunched under a different name in this administration. So let's not try and create the impression that...
No, I am not in any position here to say that whatever they launched was relaunched.
It is the same framework as community mining. No, it's the same framework as community mining. What makes it different?
Once it was launched,
what makes it different?
The one who launched it did not say that we are relaunching.
How would he say he's relaunching community mining? Can you come? So I'm sitting here to say that I'm very responsible for my words, and I know what I'm saying, and so that is what I mean. So if you, that's basically the framework of what you are doing is community mining. You've just changed the name. I'm saying that you can quote me on that. So what I'm saying is that number one, in your own 120-day contract, you said ban illegal and new mining in forest reserves. That would, you expect people to believe that you're going to repeal the LI. You have a super majority that you will not let Ghanaians' ears rest on, but it's not something you've been able to do to repeal the LI. Why? That's the first question. That's the first question that the people of Ghana have for the NDC. Number two, with your new, do you know how long it took them to pass the Gold Board bill? No. Do you know how long it took them to pass the Gold Board bill? Do you think if the NDC government wanted to repeal the LI, it would have taken them 8 months? Are we trying to say that's how lax and inefficient the government machinery runs? No, it's just a lack of will. So let's move on. There's no way around this repealing of LI. It was in your 120-day contract. You sat down and said, in my first 120 days, when I come into government, I see myself as having the capability to repeal this, and you didn't do it. So we obviously have to hold you responsible for that. What the other question that I always ask is that, what new approach are you bringing to this fight against Galamsey? Because it's not something that started today. It's not something that started yesterday. It's something we've been dealing with for a very long time. And how I always want to approach it is to be very consistent in my arguments. Because if you remember, from opposition in power, I've always been saying the same thing. It is like being in Colombia or being in Mexico and fighting the drug trade, and you always want to reduce it to mere politics, and these people are the ones doing this. You are playing with it, and obviously you are not very serious about it. If that's how that's the lens with which you want to handle the problem. So I ask, what different thing are you doing about it? This same administration basically has been in government between 2012 and 2016. At that point, Galamsey was there. In fact, ministers at that point said that the problem was it was overing them, so they want to put up their hands and just give up on the fight against Galamsey. So at that point, it was still very endemic. Then you go into opposition for 8 years. We expect that you have all that time to just, think about the problem and how it has evolved and how you'll be able to solve it. Then you make so much noise about it, you create an impression that it's MPP that's causing this distraction of water. So once you remove MPP out of office, the waters will clear and the rivers will be fine. But now it's become clear to Ghanaians that it's not as simple as that. Then how are you able to judge who an effective leader is? It's someone that's able to come up with some new solutions. I heard Gabriela talk about, what's it called? What do people call them? Blue water guards. They were river wardens before. They were launched in 2020. That's what I'm saying. You're not doing anything new. The same old things that have been new. You come and call it something different and expect claps. That's not going to happen. So river wardens were also launched in 2020. We did a lot of things with the fight against Galamsey. And like I was telling you off air, it's something that requires money. It's a very lucrative sector. So it is easy for people to get corrupted in the process. MPP people can get corrupted, NDC people can get corrupted because we are all human beings and it is cash, it is money. So once you want to look at it from a solely law enforcement point of view, you are not going to get any kind of results. The Nana Addo Dankwa government arrested so many people in Galamsey to the point that the certain president came out to say that he will grant them an amnesty. We're all in this country. There were over 800 cases in court that were pending prosecution on the charges of Galamsey. It's obvious that that approach was not going to work. And so that is why we decided that we needed to take a new approach to this. And critics alike saw this and said, this is something that is truly different in how we've been fighting Galamsey, and so we can see that we may get some true benefits from there. Yesterday, I was just going through my phone and I saw that the Gold Board is actually hoping to implement the first step of Dr. Bawumia's plan against Galamsey. And if you would remember, we can even go back and find the videos. I've sat on this platform several times to discuss that 8-point plan, and I don't know why you're smiling, to discuss that 8-point plan. And I can see that at least now you've realized that you sat in opposition for 8 years. You didn't know what you were coming to do about this problem. You had no solutions. You were just a very effective critic because that's easier to do. So now that you've come, if you are going to implement some of the things that a lot of people have looked at and said, this is a way we could do this, at least give some credit where credit is due. Because one of the problems that we identified with this whole fight was the whole idea of people going prospecting, and I'm sure that's what is happening right now. And so that also draws in this problem of licenses. If you are a large-scale miner, like a small to medium-scale mining, you've done a little more research before you go. But a lot of places where this Galamsey goes on, they just see a bare concession. Sometimes it's even concessions that somebody has already started mining and left. Then they go there and they start panning and they are destroying the river. So it's not always that it's like an organized group of people. That's what makes it so difficult to fight.
No.
That's what. No. Which part is no?
Now, Galamsey. I won't even say Galamsey because Galamsey in itself is even not illegal. If you check the real origin of the name Galamsey, that is what you just said. But now, what we're dealing with is illegal mining, which has been now organized. Because people are mining under the pretext of having licenses.
And I'm telling you, that's not the full scope of the problem. Have you seen the people mining under their beds?
The difficulty of our problem today is that those who are mining have gotten the sites given to them. They are now mining. In fact, we even have one of the requirements that you're not supposed to be mining 100 meters close to water bodies. Yeah. Even that one, I think it is hogwash.
I mean, I don't even think that I think it's hogwash. Looking at the problem holistically.
Have
you seen the people that are mining under their beds?
Involved in illegal mining, whether you like it or not, are the ones holding the licenses.
No, I do not absolutely agree with you. I don't think they are the entirety of the problem because you've seen.
I'm not saying they are the entirety, but they are the major part of the problem.
Most of the people that are holding their licenses are easier to to keep in the regulatory bracket. Why is the NDC government, even with their confused approach to Galamsey, why are they trying to establish more satellite offices for the Minerals Commission so that you can better monitor those that you've given licenses to? The problem is the people not...
Is that their idea was setting up more offices?
Yeah, they're setting up more. They're trying to decentralize the Minerals Commission thing.
Setting up offices of Minerals Commission.
To better regulate the sector. You are not even letting me learn to understand what I'm saying. It started under us, yes.
What are you talking about?
No, so it's something they've continued. Why? Because you've given out licenses, you have to be able to monitor them. You cannot just say you will not give out licenses because people will go out and mine without your license. That's one thing you have to realize. We've seen videos of people mining under their beds, mining under public toilets and things. They really do not need to come to you for a license before they take their pickaxe and go to the ground and start doing things. So let's not overhype this license matter. So I was talking about this issue of getting the Geological Survey to actually do the research and find where the minerals are so that people do not go about this try and error business. I am quite happy that I'm seeing a different approach by the NDC government where they are beginning to listen that the way they've been fighting this thing is not working. And so let's follow who know road. Let's look at who has come up with a different plan as to how to tackle this matter. And I'm quite happy that they are doing that. I hope they're able to implement it effectively. And lastly, I'm hoping they can give credit where credit is due.
In the words of Ursula, we cannot take advice from people who run bottles because we are not in the bottle running business. And we cannot be taking advice from the MPP on how to fight Galamsey.
Oh, but you're using our policies?
We are not using your policies. We have our own policies. This is one of our. If I did Central Regions Manifesto, if you want to read
I know what's in your. I have your manifesto here, and there's nothing there about using geological survey. There's nothing there. I can read your manifesto on mining to you.
We are talking about. We're talking
about. I think they are just like. Let her finish.
We're talking about geofencing and all kinds of using AI and all kinds of
geological survey.
No, have you seen the gold bots approach? What I just explained.
I'm saying that. Are you as MPP owning geological survey?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said, and you do not misconstrue my words. I said using the geological survey to essentially put.
Yeah, but you just told her that.
No, she knows exactly what I was talking about. Gold boards plan to use the geological survey to show people exactly where the gold is.
I'm just trying to say that geological survey was not your idea. It's been there for ages.
No. How can you say this? Using them to actually prospect for all of this so that you go. No, so tell me where. Tell me that now you can go to the geological survey and they'll show you that this is where the gold is. So why has Gold Board just launched it? Why do we always do this? You didn't see the press release of them saying that they. No, we are now putting them to use in that aspect. Are you also sitting here and telling me that they've been doing that? They've been prospecting for the illegal mining sector?
Are you saying that right from, say, Kufuor's days till now, no leader has mentioned geological survey?
No, that was the question. Not mentioning geological. Anybody can mention geological survey. To use them in this way to do this work.
Did you use them?
I told you at the end of my very long submission. No, let me learn. I told you that at the end of my very long submission that we fought the fight for a long time and we learned a lot of things. And so that was one of the ways that we were going to pivot.
You were going to?
Yes, that's the same way. The NDC was also there from 2012 to 2016. Why didn't they also use geological survey? You fight something and you learn.
She says they launched some water wardens. We never heard of your water wardens.
Oh, they were there.
Where? What were they doing?
They were
there.
They were very
NDC.
No, but they were.
No,
your river wardens. We are seeing your own MCs beating your river wardens.
They were very ineffective because if for nothing at all, I have seen the water guards in canoes rolling down rivers, chasing what's it called, Galamseyers off platforms and burning champagne generators. I see them cutting off the tubes and everything, demobilizing platforms. I see them jumping into water.
You mean the blue water guards?
Yes, I see them jumping into silted water, chasing after people to arrest them. And I know that they use intelligence to get the information that they're using to be effective at what they are doing. So you may have launched a program, but I didn't see how effective your program was. But what I have seen is what I can speak of. And I'm not speaking because I speak for NDC. I'm speaking because this is what I have actually seen with my own two eyes. That they are swimming across rivers, going in canoes, demobilizing platforms, arresting people. And now, currently, since NDC came to office, we've managed to recruit 980, and we're still left with 1,020 more to go. So we have 20,000 of them across. To help this blue water guard become even more effective, as I've mentioned to you, that we are not going to put military bases so that the intelligence that they bring and to be able to accost people who have more power, quote unquote, the military can come in to support them and get rid of these people off the water. So that we innocent people will not have to suffer like Onyaku Waterworks today. Now, let me also mention, remember the last time when the Minister for Transport was giving his media briefing on some of the things that is going on in his ministry, they mentioned that they've instituted this new policy that before you import an excavator into the country, you need to give some reason for what this equipment is coming to do, because currently we have more than enough excavators in this country. We don't need more excavators. And that's a very important policy because, and it turns out that a lot of these machines that are being burnt on these minefields, the miners don't own them. There is now actually the actual businessmen who are renting these assets out to these Galamseyers.
Do you know them? Do you know these businessmen?
It's important that
because
we have to trace them.
as far as we remember, His Excellency the President then, as an opposition leader, was very keen on that. And he said he was going to. He described the Galamsey boys as these small boys. We should leave them and go after the kingpins. Yes. Having mentioned that,
we need
do you know those businessmen behind the importers of?
But once you get the registration of a
you can now track or
you
trace.
can now trace to who owns the equipment. So it's now important that we need to trace this equipment back and see who actually owns these rentals and are giving this equipment to the illegal miners, and make it a policy that if you don't show certification, they don't give access to the equipment. Because mind you, if those equipments get to the field and you don't have license, and what's it called, NIMOS or National Security or any of the operational teams that is going around checking these Galamseys, they see the equipment, they'll buy the equipment. And then the liability falls on you, the owner who went and gave your equipment to illegal miners. So it's important that in tracing, we find the owners of these equipment also. And always issue strong warning to them and make sure that from henceforth, if they are going to rent out their equipment to anybody, the people should show them license. Then she mentioned about the decentralization of minerals commission officers. That is long overdue. You see, one of the reasons why these people are moving into areas, mind you, they have their own, I wouldn't want to use the word primitive way of exploring, but they have their own local means of exploring land to know that this place has gold. Now, before you send your documentation to Minerals Commission, you have to find the coordinates. If that land is already owned by somebody, maybe the person has a license for the land, but they are not actually utilizing it. So you now go and find where the coordinates are, and if it is licensed to somebody. If it's not licensed to somebody, now, this is where one of the challenges why we're having issues with this Galamsey. The licensing regime has to be looked at again and try and find a way to shorten the process.
What did she say? Sami Jennifer was saying Goldboard was going to use that they have Geological.
Oh, I'm finding it for you.
No. Just mention it. My producer is saying something. I want to cross-check with it.
So this licensing regime, we need to find a way to shorten the licensing regime.
Do you have the name? Okay.
The time it takes to get a license
is it Geological Survey?
Can go as high as 8 months.
Geological Survey Department.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can go as long as 8 months. Meanwhile, within 2 months, they would have finished their operations at a site. And they know that if they don't move in fast and get a first mover advantage, some other miner will come in there and take advantage of the land. So there's even this competition amongst themselves to get access to lands to mine. So the licensing regime has to be looked at and try and shorten the process. From the top of my head, and looking at how this whole Galamsey thing and this whole illegal mining thing is being fought and everything. For me, the last time I was here, I made the point that we have to empower communities to protect their own habitations. Today, I'm coming with another point from my head. The district assemblies, right, instead of going straight to the Minerals Commission, the districts we know which districts are mining districts, even if they are Galamsey illegal, they should go through the district assembly. And the district assembly should make the proposal to the Minerals Commission on their behalf. And here's the reason why. Because after the licenses is given, the district assemblies don't know who has been given license in their districts. All they know is that people have moved onto land and they've started mining. But if you go to the districts now have the data on who has applied for mining, whose licenses has not been approved at Minerals Commission, whose license is approved, and then they can better manage the situation in their district. For me, I think there's a hole there that has to be addressed, because a lot of the fight has to be decentralized. This noise I'm making about this Ayenswanu constituency, for example, if the district is in the know of who and who are mining in the communities where we have mentioned, that this is where the problem is coming from, the easiest thing for the assembly to do is to march into that particular enclave. And you are the miners operating here. You are destroying and it's causing problems for us in Central Region. So whether you are going to put fines or court action or whatever it is that is going to take to stop it.
But there was if you have the video, you can show it to us. Last week, I think there was some action taken in the Eastern Region. Was it in Chebi?
There's a lot of operations going on.
Yes, there was a task force that went to Chebi.
I've seen
if the video is there, get it ready for us. Yeah. And so there seemed to be
that is one district.
So where they went,
we want Ayenswanu district.
whoever is the DC for Ayeswan, we want to see more action from his side.
Yeah, and I have one question for you. Do you really believe this task force approach is the solution to the Galamsey matter?
Hold on.
What do you think is the solution?
It requires more.
Let's just watch the video briefly and then come back.
So, this is active Galamsey ongoing. They are running. The men are also following them, as you can see. Look at them. So here they are. Almost done on with yourself. Why?
Okay, so the very devastating situation. It looks almost like every day we have to look at the state. Every day we need to measure where we have gotten to as far as this practice or fight is concerned. Okay, you're asking a critical question as to whether we think this task force is effective. You've used it. This government is using task forces and all that. I saw the Domahene, you know, I don't know if it's an idea wonder, but I saw him in some action as far as Galamsey is concerned. He was trying to move to the Galamsey side and drive the guys out. And I thought it was a critical part that the chiefs can also, you know, get into it and play if they themselves are not complices of these acts.
I do agree with that approach because I was talking to a few people that grew up in these areas and so they understand the dynamics better. And he was telling me, I think one of our constituency officers in Bia West, and he was saying that in that whole enclave, there's Galamsey everywhere. But it seems like Bia West, Bia East, because the people themselves do not want it, and the chiefs are also very much against it, they've been able to mostly keep it out. But that you would have to, that means you're expecting everybody to have a certain character. And so to me, I don't think that alone will also work. Whenever I say this, you might confuse it as because of where I'm coming from, but it's truly because I've seen what we've been doing over the years, and I truly believe that the only way we can make any headway is to try something different. If you are doing the same thing every time and expecting a different result, that means you're expecting God to drop manna from heaven, and that doesn't usually happen. You have to try something different. You have to try an approach that, you know, sort of helps them to be able to achieve their end without the distraction that comes with it.
So you were using, let's measure them. You were using, they're using blue water gas. You called river gas.
Wardens.
You were using river wardens, yes. And then you're using blue water gas. You were using task forces. They're also using task forces. They are arresting people. They are arresting people. We are burning some fires, excavators.
That was done.
We are doing that. I think the only thing you put
they were giving airline people to go and mine in forest.
Forest reserve.
They were
that
giving
one,
licenses left, right, etc.
That's the only difference.
They created community development.
The funny thing about this. And your people too are taking over legitimate mines with your national security bill. Let's not go into that if we want to have, a forward-moving conversation, because it's very clear since you guys came into office that it's the same thing that's happening. And to me, I always explain it because there are huge sums of money involved in it. You went around when you were campaigning, telling some of your benefactors who were miners that when we come, we'll allow you to enter the forest. So now it's very difficult for you to also turn around and find them.
Enter the forest.
I know exactly what I'm saying.
Enter the forest.
No, because I think the layman's understanding amongst the miners is that the forest is where you get proper gold. Whether it's true or not, we do not know.
No, but nobody
so most of them.
No, nobody said I will allow you to enter the forest.
Oh, not to your hearing, but I'm telling you on authority that a very big benefactor in one of the
mention the name.
I'm not going to mention.
Yes, you have to.
I'm not going to mention the name.
No, you have to.
A very big benefactor of theirs who was helping them campaign. In his mind, his motivation for campaign. I'm not going to mention the name. His motivation for campaigning was that he would be allowed to enter the forest. Did we not see what happened in Obuasi?
Listen,
did we not? I think we were on the show together.
The situation with Galamsey today, yeah, we are not here to protect anybody again. No, we are not.
No, when I'm ready to mention the person's name,
we're not. We're not protecting anybody anymore.
It's not about protection.
We are. You see? Do you understand it? We're dying.
It's not about protection.
It's not about
protection, Nani. But
they have prepared something. What?
Did you read the latest research on the effect of mining on water, food, contaminants, heavy metals?
Yes.
And there's a lot of things in Konongozo. The first person who came to my mind was Black Sheriff, and I was like, we need to have Black Sheriff to start doing some advocacy in Konongozo.
So to me,
he comes from there.
Yeah.
It requires like a multi-pronged approach and a very intense seriousness.
This thing they prepared for me that I'm drinking is with water. I'm not sure what's in the water. Ordinary foods that we're eating. Yesterday I saw contomere.
Yes.
Last year I saw
cassava.
I think there's been a report on cassava as well.
We do not know how I have gone onto the market to buy plantain to come and do some fufu. Am I now taking it to the lab to check if there are metals in it before I come and cook? I am not ready to protect anybody who is literally murdering me.
Kolebu, director of health director or something.
Medical director
mentioned that there are now like 5,000 cancer and 3,000 and something kidney this year alone.
Yes.
You see, as a scientist, I hesitate to draw correlation if it hasn't been established.
So
it has been established. Let's draw. AQI has been established because some of these things we're referring to are not we're not following the trend. They are researchers. You know, Professor.
Are you talking about Paul Sampene?
No, Professor Sampene. Do you know Professor Sampene?
Yes, he was one of my lecturers in school. He's a very good friend.
Do you know that he's out of the country today?
Yes, I know that. He's a very close family friend. So let's not enter.
So do you know why? I'm not going to go, but you know why?
No, I don't. The reason I know.
I'm not going to put it out, but do you know why?
The reason I know as why is different from what you know as why. So let's leave it there. I don't want to discuss it here.
Okay,
let's move away from
no problem, but you know researchers he has conducted.
He has spoken about it at length.
He has not spoken about it. They've conducted researches that we're making references to them. I don't know why you're giggling. You're taking it very
No, I'm not taking it lightly. It's because Dr. Sampene is a very good friend, mentor, and boss. So I have seen his work, but I'm not going to sit here and discuss it.
Fine,
what I'm saying is that the matter has clearly deteriorated.
You're saying that you want to, because you're a medical person, you want to disassociate yourself.
No, I said a scientist. I want to see causality. Because the level of evidence that you need to make a substantial claim that something is caused by something is very high. It's not one research paper.
But I
don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of that.
When scientists have been able to collect fetus and into the lab and conducted research, conducted some tests on them and seen metals.
Heavy metals.
I'm just saying that
the burden that it takes for you to confidently link what you were saying, the 5,000 admissions at Kolebu, solely to Galamsey, I'm not ready to go there. because I would need to see more information as a causality. But we cannot also sit here and say we cannot make that blank link between the increasing levels of Galamsey and the increasing levels of kidney disease.
But I'm just telling you that it's not blank because scientists have come out with research results. It's not the fact that you haven't conducted results doesn't mean that anybody has not.
No.
CNN have all run documentaries on research.
Yeah, but what I'm also telling you that documentary is not doubting. No, I'm not doubting.
I said they have made references.
You are mistaking the point.
No, I'm saying that. I'm
just saying that.
I'm saying they've made references to research work. So what are you talking about?
I've seen the references to research work. What I'm saying is that if you are looking at the hierarchy of information, the amount of certainty you need to have, like the way we are certain the mosquito bite will cause malaria, you need a lot more research. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there is no link or that that's not the argument I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm not too confident really going on that tangent. It's obviously something that's happening. I saw something yesterday about how they are finding mercury in cassava and all. So obviously these things are coming up, and as time slowly goes
and you're still not confident enough.
Let me land there.
Even if you see the trend.
Let me land.
So scientists don't use...
Let me land.
So scientists don't use...
Let me land. So I clearly see the trend and where it's going, and I can see that we'll get to a point where we can hit our chest and confidently say that everything that's happening is a
we're
result.
all dead and gone.
How are we going to be dead and gone? Now the NDC government that said we are the causes of Galamsey, we are out. We are hoping that they will do the work. That's all that it is. We are holding them accountable for the things that they said. They told us that we only need 2 weeks to get rid of Galamsey, a very senior member of the NDC. And I think they were intentionally playing with the minds of Ghanaians, because now they are telling us that when the manifesto did they say they were going to declare a state of emergency. I'm sure you yourself would remember some panelists that have come to City and they were lambasting the MPP rep on the show that declare a state of emergency, declare a state of emergency. Right now, where's all that talk? This is disappeared. So much was said and done. And so the expectations of the people of Ghana with regards to Galamsey on the NDC is so high. And sadly, they are letting the people down. Now it has turned to gaslighting. We're talking about the video that just came up. It didn't come out of a vacuum. Dennis Miracles Aboard, he didn't just decide to go there. The government spokesperson, the Minister for Government Communication, said that he wants to see proof of it. Can you imagine the level of gaslighting it takes for that to be said? And so proof has been provided to him. So I hope that this is enough of fire up him to be able to do something about the problem. Because honestly, as I was saying, this tax force matter, not the solution. We expect to see some ingenuity. And to me, there's nothing wrong with looking at your opponents if they have a better plan and trying to institutionalize it. The point for Ghanaians is to see an improvement with the fight to Galamsey. And to us, it's not so much about credits. We just want to see an improvement in what is going on.
There's been some improvements. And there's a river, I've been trying to recall the name of the river. There's a river in the western region. It's around Honorable Boy's constituency. It's not Nkrumah. There's another river that was also contaminated by Galamsey last year. And today, if you see that river, it's pristine. The natural color is the greenish, bluish color is returning back to its original state. So it's not like it's failed or the fight has failed. There are successes.
So there's a river in what, western region,
yes,
turning blue?
Yes. It's not Nkrumah. There's another river there. It has an Nzima name.
I'm trying to research.
Now, Annie, let me mention 5 other rivers that have improved this last 8 months. When you come to Central Region, Pra at Daboase.
So in Western Region, we have Nkrumah, Tano, and Bia.
No, there's another one. It has an Nzima name.
Okay.
In Daboase on Pra, in February 2025, the turbidity was 4,800 NTU. As of July 2025, it's reduced to 2,820 NTU. If you go to Ofen, in February, it was 5,740 NTU. As of July this year, it's 2,205 NTU. You mentioned beer, so I'll add beer. In February, beer had 5,450 NTU. And as of July, beer is now at 372. So clearly, there's some improvement in some areas, and there are some places where more effort has to be put in, especially on the issue of nomadic miners. That is why I want to reference Galamsey now. They are nomadic miners. If you see the way they operate and everything, that's exactly how they are. And how to hone in nomadic miners. And I think that we need to change the game small. The key is the assemblies need to do more. Earlier on, you mentioned the chiefs, and this is very critical because the local chieftaincy system is such that every community has a chief who also supervises the local government's out-of-government system. And they know which rivers, which forests mining is going on, even in the most minutest forms. So I think that the House of Chiefs, working through the regional House of Chiefs and the various local chieftaincy institutions, should also help us.
So I'm seeing these rivers, Ankasa, Nini, and Suhin rivers. I think they are small rivers within the
It's a small river,
yes.
but she has an Nzema name.
Suhin, that's Nzema name. There's Suhin, there's Ankasa.
That one.
Ankasa.
That one.
Ankasa.
Yes.
Okay.
So the chiefs should also help us. We know that there are some who are miners. We are not fighting legitimate miners. We want legitimate miners to do the right thing to protect the environment, all right. But we are looking for those who are destructive in their mining. And whether it is the assemblies, whether it is task force, whether it is chieftaincy, whatever contribution everybody can make. You know, yesterday I was listening to Fix the Country demonstrators, and there was a little guy called Little Desmond, who he got me a little teary-eyed actually when he was talking, because he was surrounded by two other young people, and he said he was too young to die, and now the river is polluted, and the same thing that we repeat, right? But it hit me because this is the next generation that is coming, and we ought to do better to leave Ghana in a better place for this generation. So when I was watching him speak, it was really hitting me that we should do more. So I entreat government, community leaders, chiefs in communities, let us all rise up to solve the problem. We are all involved in this. Government will do its part, central government will do its part. By the end of the day, these are our communities. If it's going bad and we are suffering for, like how today Konyako is making us all suffer because of Ayonswano constituency, it hits all of us. So whatever we can do in our various constituencies and communities to curb this menace and to avoid this, let us do it.
But do you agree with the QS position that we are being too repetitive, that it's something we've tried before, it didn't work? Try something we haven't heard, we haven't seen, we haven't had a feel of it before. Yes, you reversed forest reserve license, whatever.
They gave it, we took it off.
Yes, but aside that, then what else?
But beyond that, we've increased the numbers of water guards.
You've not given out licenses.
You've not issued licenses to anybody.
And then you've increased what? Water guards.
Water guards. What you claim is water wardens.
River wardens.
We have river wardens. Water guards. 980. We have proof of 980 water guards, and I see them working. Good morning to all of them, wherever they are. You are doing well. And beyond that, we've registered excavators, and now we have tracking devices on 657 excavators. And we know where exactly these excavators are.
You registered them to where? Mining sites or farms?
They are all over the country.
Doing what?
Doing all kinds of things, from construction work to mining.
No, that happened on
Some are
Operation
legitimate.
Halt. Sorry, let you finish.
You may have done it under Operation Halt, but you didn't tell us where you're
going to the point that
but we through geofencing, we're able to trace where this
started this geofencing in 2019.
No problem. Now, Annie. Yeah, some more. I don't know why when I'm trying to make my point,
I'm sorry.
Land.
I will let you
land. Our time is almost up, so you land.
So, Annie, beyond that, I told you no licenses, registration of machines. Now, asking shipping lines that before they bring in the machines, the people who are bringing those machines have to get justification and approval before they ship it here. That is also being done. Beyond that, we are decentralizing the licensing regime. But I've also mentioned that even that has challenges because of how long it takes to go through the procedure and how impatient miners are to mine. So we need to work on that. Now, the last time I was here, we were talking about the police IGP's task force who are not working through the centralized system. So now those were disbanded. And now the, what's it even called? NIMOS. That's the task force. No, the National Anti...
Galamsey.
It's called NIMOS. Right? So now NIMOS is now providing intelligence to all the task force to be able to do effective, what they even call it, operations. That's why when you go to a place like Chebi, it's easy for the DCU of Chebi to march into zones and chase out miners and burn equipment and take over equipment. But now that I've also mentioned this issue, the issue of the burning of excavators. I think that the reason why they are forced to burn is because they don't have equipment to move those machines. Because trailers and flatbeds aren't that common, unless they are going to pick timber or some other commodity. And to get them to come from one area to where the machine is and pick it, I think it's becoming a bit cumbersome. I'm looking at the numbers.
But you see, I was against the burning of excavators in the previous administration, and my position has not changed. For burning of excavators, it matters not the excuse you give me. Because look at the chain. You're burning this equipment. That alone is harmful to the environment. The emission is putting in the air, you know what you're creating. Number two, the remnants of the burning, where are you going to put the metals after you burnt them? How are you going to recycle them? How are you going to get them out or scrap them? We'll take them where? They will take them where? They are still in the system. So let's look at the long-term ramification of these things. When that same equipment can be put to good use, but you see, it's because you don't trust yourselves. It's not because you can't move. It's not because it's expensive. It's because you don't trust yourselves. Yes. It's because they'll fly away. You seize excavators, politicians will steal them. You seize them, they will steal them. It's simply because you don't trust yourselves.
And this, we don't have reports of anybody stealing
didn't Anabisu seize some excavators and they flew away? She said she caught some excavators. The next day she came, so many of them
it was explained that it was just data confusion, but I think they cleared it up later.
Oh, so we are supposed to believe that.
They cleared it up later.
We are supposed to believe that.
Just
we don't believe it. Of course, you put some spin on it.
Let's not do this. You did that. We did that. You did that.
Yeah, excavators will fly away.
Let's make progress. You've made a very important point, and I agree with you. Burning is not the, but I think that there's a challenge there that has to. Government has to find a solution on how to get the machines out of there, whichever way. So I think that's is one. There was a video that was making the rounds yesterday or 2 days ago where one miner mentioned that they had just finished reclaiming their lands after their mining. So they had leveled everything, and he was making the point that the equipment either goes to the assemblies when they are seized for the assemblies to use, or the option is given for the company that owns the equipment to come back to whoever has seized the equipment, and then as punishment, they let the owner of that machine go and do reclamation on behalf of the miners with a bond that they're not going to give equipment out to miners again. I don't know how effective the enforcement of that is going to be, but I think that there's some elements of wisdom in that suggestion.
Yes, because in the drip project, excavators are part of the machines that we brought in.
Yes.
So why is it that we have excavators destroying the environment, and we have some that are supposed to make the environment, sane, and we are burning it? seize them and use them for the benefit of the nation and not to necessarily destroy it. You are even creating more harm.
In the initial stages, they used to demobilize them. But
they know how to fix it.
The miners know how to change the motherboards.
So once they have sometimes they have extra,
more than one.
Yeah.
So you demobilize it, that you go and come back for the equipment, and before you come back, it's been taken away by the miners again. And I think that it is that lap there that is forcing the burning. But it's equipment that can be useful in other areas. So we have to find another solution.
Right. It's a conversation still ongoing, but our friend from US, Mark USA, he says that, good morning, Annie, please tell Gabi that it should rather be a joint effort between Central and Eastern Regional Security Council to stop the Galamsey problem in the Eastern region. The regions should work together. It is very sad. I lost a nephew through kidney problems because of the water issues in the Central region. State of emergency on my mind in all Galamsey areas. That's Mark from USA. Also, this one is long. I don't think I can read it all. But
yes, River Ezulenoa.
Ezua?
Ezulenoa.
Ezulenoa.
Yes.
You know, I was going to say Ezulezu.
No,
but I know Ezulezu is the village on the water. So it's Ezulenoa.
In Elembele.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have just a few minutes to go. Ikea.
Yes. I just wanted
to... let's look at, some of the offices, some of the offices that were, commissioned or put up to decentralize the work of Minerals Commission. I think they're ready. It was led by Mr. Martin Aisi when he was in office at the time. If they're ready, producers, let's see. I'm seeing Minerals Commission office in Bole. I'm seeing the one Minerals Commission Ashanti Regional Office. Okay, this is Bole. I see Ashanti region. I think there's Savannah region as well. So this is Damang office, Minerals Commission Damang. And I'm just hoping that this is the Ashanti one. I'm hoping they will yield results. It's not the architecture and the beautiful things we're seeing on the screen, but it has to necessarily yield results. This is a Savannah Regional Office of the Minerals Commission. Damang. Tamale. Minerals Commission in Tamale. This is your office. This is also Tamale. Right. So these are some of the offices that have come up, opened by the Minerals Commission. Yeah. 1 minute, let's wrap up.
1 minute, that's a very long time, and short time, sorry. Okay. So I'll try to be brief. First, let's not behave that this geofencing of concessions started now. It was part of Galam Stop and all of that, geofencing, all the licenses that have been given out. So if you are given a concession...
It's about how effective your policy was.
You see, you're doing the same thing to me now. I'm going to also use my train of thoughts. So the idea was, once you give somebody the concession, you should be able to know at every point the boundaries of that concession. We also tagged excavators so that if they move from one even if Gabi has a concession here, I have one here. If my excavator moves from here to here, the operations room should be able to tell. We tried all of that. So it's nothing new. Again, that's been my problem with the NDC. You're not doing anything new. You're expecting claps, telling us that you are implementing it better. But if you were implementing it better, the thing that we just saw, Agona East, I always butcher the name when I try to pronounce it, but the video we saw, that is a deterioration that has happened in these past few months.
Happened in 8 months.
Yes, that's a deterioration. There was interviews with a lot of people, a lot of residents, and they lamented that it's something that happened in this short while.
As a scientist, I don't expect you to be talking like that. Right. Because residents said it happened in a short while.
But they are sitting there and they have access to the water.
Really?
Yes.
So you have situations where...
You said there was 1 minute, so... Another problem that we do is trying to use the turbidity. There's something called a water quality index. And the analysis by the Ghana Water Company has been done on this matter in 2010, 2016, and 2024. In 2010, all 40 water sources were fairly good. So if you want, don't worry. Once you ask me to go and bring you evidence, I can go back again there and then do some research.
Okay.
2016, it was fairly good, but had reduced to 15 and poor water quality at 25. 2024, we improved the fairly good water from 15 to 29 and reduced the poor water from 25 to 15. So this is data from the Ghana Water Company themselves.
So the issue that you didn't want to talk about, Dr. Sampany actually granted an interview to us here on Metro TV. Then at the time, it was Dr. Randy Abe that was in the seat. He actually granted that interview. After a few weeks or months, we heard that Professor decided to leave the country. One, he said his life was at risk. Two, he said once he was even trying to advocate and his help was not being heeded to, he felt he himself and his family were all at risk, even at death. First of all, they were threatening his life. Second of all, I'm not going to...
Did he tell you who?
But Dr. Sampany, we had
No, I'm just asking.
Tete-a-tete chats, behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
The fact that you think you are close to the family doesn't mean
No, I'm just saying, I'm curious
you are the only
to know
person.
who was threatening.
I'll tell you off
Who was threatening.
I'll tell you off air. The way Gabby is looking at me saying...
My favorite pathologist.
So we'll wrap up here, all right? We'll wrap up here.
Oh, we didn't congratulate the
Ghanaians
4x100 men's relay team.
Oh.
And all the athletes who made it to the Tokyo World Championship.
Olympics.
So it wasn't Olympics,
Hey,
World Championship.
sorry.
It was World Championships to represent Team Ghana. Rose, you did your best.
I saw Kiki.
Husseini, Saminu, Azamati, Joe Paul, you guys did very well.
What, Azamati is on the team?
Yeah.
My goodness, I'm not been following her. I'm going to follow.
They came fourth.
Oh.
They just missed by a strand. But they moved from 5th in Bahamas to 4th in Tokyo. So I'm hoping that with the right support, so I want to plead with corporate Ghana that please reach out to the Athletics Association and help them. You need the boys, the athletes. It's not about these athletes, the producer waits. That's not about these athletes, is that they need competitions to be active, right? And competitions take money. You need to accommodate them, give them, enroll them into these events and all that. So it is the competitions that brings out the excellence in them. You know, you don't wait last minute and then you send them to a program like that. You know?
That's what we always do in this country. Last
and
minute
to focus on everything black star, but the other people also represented the country.
And are doing well.
You know, when they qualified for the semis, they weren't given the dogs chance. But when they qualified for the finals, even the commentator, everybody was saying the commentator wasn't even paying attention. Ghana was leading in the race. So his whole attention was on Netherlands and Great Britain and Japan. Meanwhile, Ghana, Saminu was racing.
Smart, bold,